Chapter 2789 Milky Way Lord. When Jianan heard the World Domination King's words, he also looked towards outer space. There was nothing in outer space. There was no trace of the Milky Way Lord. Jianan, back off. The World Domination King squinted his eyes, then punched forward with the power to shatter planets in his right hand. The berserk power seemed to tear space itself apart. When the attack reached a distance of half a kilometer, an energy barrier appeared and completely nullified the World Domination King's attack. Then, a spaceship slowly appeared in outer space. An invisible spaceship? Jianan frowned. His heart was in turmoil. There was no such thing as an invisible spaceship in the human universe, but he did see one. What's more, he didn't find it even after scanning the area with his cosmic energy. How did you find it? Yi Zichen walked out of the cabin with the fully recovered Tian Hai following behind him. The moment they saw Tian Hai, the World Domination King and Jianan's pupils contracted. You've recovered? The World Domination King frowned. Thanks to Yi Zi, had a time elemental fairy that accelerated my time. Actually, I was already healed when you first attacked. Tian Hai nodded. You should have noticed that if I was just an injured soldier of the sacred region, I wouldn't have been able to stop you for so long. I do have my suspicions, the World Domination King nodded. The tyrannical world ruler declined to comment. It seems like I didn't lose unjustly in the previous battle. Milky Way Lord, I've learned my lesson. The World Domination King cupped his hands sincerely. There was no hint of hatred in his tone at all. Instead, it was so calm that it made one wonder if this was really him or not. It seems like you've changed a lot after losing last time. Yi Zichen said. That's right. The World Domination King nodded. The World Domination Ruler nodded. I also have to thank the Milky Way Overlord for letting me see my many shortcomings. I came to my senses in time and didn't continue. It was a huge mistake. Then now, come and destroy your energy crystal. The words of the World Domination Ruler were straightforward, and he did not beat around the bush. Destroy the crystal. That was his goal, and he couldn't be bothered to hide it. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. From the World Domination King's current state, he had indeed changed quite a bit. At the very least, his attitude had changed a lot compared to his previous arrogant and extreme attitude. You should know that you've lost. I've received the message. The Overlord World Ruler nodded. But you can't say that we've lost. We still have 12 hours. If your crystal is destroyed during this time, we'll be even. Yes, you're right. Yi Zichen didn't refute the World Domination King's words. Dominating World Ruler, do you really think this is necessary? The trial didn't affect you. Now that the red team has finished, you can leave. Moreover, Tian Hai is here. Do you think you have a chance? Yi Zichen couldn't be bothered to intentionally provoke the World Domination Kingdom's ruler when he handled everything in an upright manner. There was no need. What he was saying now was to move people with emotions and reason. The ones who were truly affected by the trial were Karkit and Yi Zichen, or rather, the trial participants who had placed their bets. To the ruler of the World Domination country, it did not affect him much. He was able to come here. Then, he would most likely receive news from his headquarters. With the Spirit Phoenix present, the war between them and the Sacred Region Cosmic Country would be over. They wouldn't be able to cause much trouble. Wasn't it a good choice for him to return to his own territory? What's more, if Yi Zichen and Tian Hai weren't here, he could break through Nirvana's barrier and destroy the crystal without a problem. But now Tian Hai was here. The difference between a sovereign and a ruler was like the difference between heaven and earth. Ignoring the fact that the World Domination country was a peak ruler, even if he was a sovereign, Tian Hai was a peak sovereign. How could he possibly be Tian Hai's match? He had no chance of winning at all. There was no need for him to be so stubborn. You should be glad that you're the one fighting this time. If you stayed in the headquarters, then you might have already died to the Spirit Phoenix, Yi Zichen said softly. Yi Zichen said softly. You admitted that you benefited greatly from the last battle. Isn't that a good thing for you? Why do you have to start another war? Are you happy to see your fellow humans die? No. The World Domination country's ruler shook his head decisively. Every single human is a treasure of our universe. I naturally don't want them to die in battle. What's more, I didn't bring them here this time. I won't act against the sacred region's people either. I want to challenge Tianhai. What? With that, Yi Zichen, Tianhai, and Jinan all raise their eyebrows. Challenge. The ruler wants to challenge a sovereign. Moreover, he was an outstanding venerable one, a peak-level venerable one. I hope that the sacred region's sovereign can fulfill this tiny wish of mine, the world domination country's ruler said seriously. The dominating world ruler had a serious look on his face. This battle will not end here. I want a life and death battle. Ruler. Jinan panicked. The world domination country's ruler suddenly pulled off the spatial ring on his finger, then took off his armor and forced out a soul divine artifact from between his eyebrows. A colorful artifact floated in space. Jinan, this is yours. I can't take it. I told you to take it. The world domination country's ruler frowned, then placed the equipment into Jinan's hands. I promised you this, so you have to accept it. Ruler, you can wait until after this. There's no after. The world domination country's ruler smiled. I'm definitely going to die in this battle. Rather than letting the equipment follow me, I might as well give it to you now. Since you're going to die, then why are you obsessed? The world domination country's ruler patted Jinan's shoulders, then turned around and walked towards Tianhai. At this point, the world domination country's ruler no longer had any divine artifacts on him. He took a few steps forward with a smile and shrugged. I wonder if the sacred region sovereigns are willing to give me this chance. You've reached the threshold. Tianhai frowned. Yes, Yizi is your obsession. The world domination country's ruler nodded. Yes. All right, I understand. Tianhai nodded. Tianhai nodded lightly. I accept your challenge. I will give it my all in this battle, and I will let you truly understand just how great the gap between a sovereign and a sovereign is. Thank you. The world domination country's ruler let out a sigh of relief. Obsession was right in front of him, but he knew very well that he couldn't hurt Yi Zichen with Tianhai here. Thus, he might as well not humiliate himself and directly challenge Tianhai. Some people would say that he could live on in front of the ruler, but it was different. Once one touched the threshold of the venerable one, one's heart could no longer maintain the state of being a king. Breakthrough or die. There's no way out. Chapter 2790. It was just as the king of world domination had thought. There was no way out. Others might not understand him, but Tianhai could understand his decision. Sovereigns. They were extremely alluring to anyone. When you touch this threshold, you will not be able to maintain a calm state of mind and continue to be a monarch. It was the same for him back then. What's more, his obsession was not gone. Sovereigns were not broken. Struggling at death's door meant that apart from being able to keep one's life, nothing else. This was because you could no longer have any expectations for the future. You knew that being the ruler was the peak. To be honest, living like that was worse than death. Experts all had their own dignity. The more powerful a person was, the more intense their desire for a higher realm would be. They could not be like those star and star level people who could only muddle through their lives in virtual reality games. Or they could obtain the status of a universal citizen and live a mediocre life. Experts would not do that. Even if they had to live in seclusion, they would definitely not give up on cultivation. They would definitely pursue higher realms. Before that, I have something to discuss with you. The king of world domination thought for a moment, then spoke. Speak. This time, the person who spoke was not Yi Zichen, but Tianhai, who understood the king of world domination better. Yi Zichen instinctively retreated to the periphery. He knew the current situation was no longer something he could handle. He could not understand the rapport between the king of world domination and Tianhai. Those subordinates of mine. The king of world domination pointed towards the base station in the distance. I hope you can be merciful and let them live. They all have families in the universe, and they were forced to attack you. If you want revenge, I hope you can seek out Star-Lord Songyue or the management of the Alliance. That won't do. Surprisingly, Tianhai actually rejected the king of world domination's request. King of world domination, I understand your feelings. However, regardless of whether they were forced or not, they are still the murderers of the sacred region citizens. I'm willing to let them go, but I cannot answer for the souls of those who died in battle. I'm sorry, I cannot accept your request. That's true. In the face of Tianhai's rejection, the dominating world ruler calmly nodded his head. You're right. It's my fault for speaking out of turn. Then, I would like to ask you to release my subordinate. The overlord of the world domination kingdom raised his hand and pointed at the direction of the censure. Monarch. Zhu Nan gritted his teeth. I don't need their pity. I'm willing to fight to the death with the country leader outside the sacred galaxy universe country. Nonsense. The world-dominating ruler's voice was very soft as he patted Jianan's shoulder. Jianan, this isn't pity. I can sense that you have a kind nature. In fact, you're not suited to stay in the Archean moon galaxy. Everyone in our alliance has a mouth that eats people without spitting out the bones. With your personality, you're really not suited to survive there. These were the heartfelt words of the dominating world ruler. This was also the experience he had accumulated after so many years in the Azure Moon Alliance. In this alliance, everyone's thoughts ran deep. A person who was smiling at you a second ago could stab you in the back the next second. The upper echelons of the alliance were filled with scheming. If it weren't for Tsang Yue's kindness, he might have left that damned place a long time ago. A Saint Sovereign, a Milky Way Lord. The dominating world ruler turned to Yi Zichen and Tianhai. Jianan, my deputy, has followed me for thousands of years. I can swear on my soul that he has never wrongly killed anyone. In his heart, he is absolutely pure and innocent. In this war, from the moment we first attacked the sacred galaxy until now, he hasn't killed a single one of you. Furthermore, he once suggested to the sovereigns that we reduce our slaughter here and let you go. The dominating world ruler's words were forceful, and his eyes were filled with sincerity. He's only been here because of me. He's loyal to me, and no matter how I treat him, he's never thought of betraying me. Keeping someone like that alive is a good thing for the human race. I hope you can let him go. If that's true, that's fine. Tianhai nodded. Of course, if you're willing to accept him, that would be even better. He has decent management skills, and he'll be useful when the sacred galaxy cosmic nation is rebuilt. What's more, he received all of my inheritance. So long as he breaks through to the monarch level, he'll be the next me. The dominating world ruler smiled wryly. Of course, not the previous me. I'm the pure and innocent me who can tell good from bad. I'm not saying I'm that strong, but at least I'm not bad. Don't you agree, Saint Sovereign? Of course. Tianhai didn't deny it. Regardless of the dominating world ruler's character, his strength was enough to rank within the top 100,000 of the human race. 100,000. Compared to the human race's enormous population, that was already a rare ranking. So if you want to use Jianan, just use him. I can promise you that so long as he joins you, he definitely won't betray you. That's the kind of person he is. The dominating world ruler grinned. Of course, if you suspect me, then please let him go. Don't kill him. However, I still hope that Jianan will join you. That's just my hope. That can be discussed later, said Tianhai. All right, then I have nothing else to say. I've wasted a lot of your precious time. When a person is about to die, he becomes more talkative. The dominating world ruler grinned. Oh yes, I have one last request. When I was young, I had a wife. At that time, I hadn't reached the domain level yet. She gave birth to a daughter. If the Milky Way ruler and Saint Sovereign have the time, I hope you can help me find her. If you can find her, give her some resources. If not, it's fine too. Actually, I should have done this myself. It's just that I woke up too late. I don't have a chance. I'll try my best. Then let's do it. In an instant, the surging energy of the universe gathered towards Tianhai. Lord, let's retreat a little. Winnie and Aelin shielded you behind them. The dominating world ruler grinned. Saint Sovereign, here I come. Boom! The violent explosion lasted for a long time in outer space. When the flames dissipated, Tianhai was still standing at his original position. In front of him was the dominating world ruler, who looked dispirited and had his soul scattered. The dominating world ruler rested his chin on Tianhai's shoulder. Is this your full strength? Yes. Tianhai looked straight ahead. An inexplicable smile appeared on the dominating world ruler's face. Sovereign, that's great. Sovereign. Before the dominating world ruler could finish his sentence, he slid down from Tianhai's shoulder. His eyes and mouth were filled with a yearning smile, looking at the distant outer space. Chapter 2791. Your Majesty. Jianan rushed over with bloodshot eyes and held the king of world domination's body. The moment he touched the king of world domination's arm, Jianan's heart turned cold. He hugged the king of world domination tightly and stood in space. Easy, let's go back. Tianhai and Yi Zichen returned to the cabin. As they sailed towards Nirvana, they intentionally went around Jianan and the king of world domination. The king of world domination died. Yi Zichen frowned. Tianhai nodded. Tianhai nodded firmly. He asked me to use my full strength, and I did. As a monarch, he couldn't withstand my attacks. Why did he do that? For the sovereign. Tianhai let out a deep sigh, while a hint of regret appeared on his face. Yi, you still can't understand just how attractive a sovereign is to a king of world domination. You will understand when that day comes. He did it even though he knew he would die. Yi Zichen frowned. It could be considered a choice. Tianhai let out a long sigh. The sovereign is extremely attractive to the king of world domination. The venerable has an incomparable allure to the world domination country, but the world domination country ruler should know that his death is certain. Even so, he still chose to fight me. Perhaps he had already made up his mind. He can die, but he wants to experience just how strong the sovereign is. I'm respecting him by fulfilling his request. I have to say, no matter how vile his actions were, I respected him just now. As his voice faded, Tianhai shrugged his shoulders and said, Don't worry about that. Everyone makes their own choices. Back on Nirvana, Sky Sea was the first to announce the great victory of the training, and all the warriors of the Sacred Universe country were cheering. What they needed to do now was to protect the energy crystal to the very end and wait for the announcement of the results before reclaiming their homes. In truth, Tianhai was quite anxious right now. He really wanted to immediately head to the Sacred Cosmic Nation's main planet and save Jingling. However, he wasn't sure if the invaders would do anything else in the meantime. People always had to make choices. Yi Zichen had done so much for him. Although he desperately wanted to go, he had a guarantee that Yi Zichen would win the trial before going. Moreover, he reckoned that with the venerable spirit phoenix on the main planet, there shouldn't be too much of a problem. As for Yi Zichen, he sat silently in front of a man-made river on Nirvana, lost in thought. The ruler of world domination country was dead. Even though they were enemies, Tianhai had said that the world-dominating ruler was worthy of respect after witnessing his final state. Yi Zichen wasn't talking about regret. Regardless of what the world domination ruler had become, there was no need for him to reminisce about him. Right now, he just wanted to figure out one thing. Were venerables really that important? Moreover, he still chose to make such a decision when he knew that he was going to die. It was really puzzling. What are you thinking about? Bai Yu walked over and sat beside Yi Zichen. Are you thinking about the world domination king? You could say that. I'm more curious about what's so special about you, Venerable One. Venerables are actually a level that surpasses the universe. Bai Yu pursed his lips. Actually, you can tell from the names of our cultivation realms. Before the word king, there's a universe in front of it. Universe king, universe duke. Any realm is related to the universe. It's just that you don't have strength that surpasses the universe. However, venerables, you've broken free of the universe's restraints and reached a whole new level. A whole new level. Yi Zichen frowned. That's right. Bai Yu smiled. Look, after you break through to the venerable level, you can comprehend the great Tao of space. You can travel through the universe without being bound by the laws of the universe. I remember my father once said that once you reach the venerable level, you'll see a completely different world. It'll be far more exciting than when you were a king. I think the world domination king only made that decision because he touched the threshold of the venerable level and saw the outside world. But his decision was a decision that would lead to certain death. a peak Tianhai venerable, a peak world domination king. There was an entire realm of difference between them. He could clearly have chosen not to die, but he still chose to throw an egg at a rock. How could anyone understand such behavior? Then let me ask you this. Bai Yu thought about it for a moment, then said softly. Bai Yu thought for a while, then said in a low voice, if Su Yin and Xia Kiki were captured by a supreme expert, you'd have to personally go if you want to save them. With your strength, you won't have any hope even if you go. Would you go in that sort of situation? I would. There was no doubt about it. Even if Yi Zichen died for sure, he would still make that decision. Because if he didn't go, he wouldn't be able to feel at ease for the rest of his life. Rather than living like this, he might as well just die. That's it. Bai Yu shrugged with a smile. Actually, the world domination king breaking through to the venerable level is pretty much the same as the example I gave. The world domination king said that you are his obsession. If he wants to break through to the venerable level, he must get rid of it. If he doesn't get rid of it, he will never be able to step into the venerable level. If he retreats, he will regret it for the rest of his life. That's why, even if Tianhai Venerable is countless times stronger than him, he will still choose to fight him. Because your obsession is here, and he can't directly attack you, because Tianhai won't let him. Is that so? According to Bai Yu's explanation, Yi Zichen did understand a lot. But, from the perspective of a bystander, he would definitely feel pity for the world domination king. A mighty world domination king had given up on his future just like that. He had chosen to die just to catch a glimpse of the light of a venerable. To be honest, there was no benefit to dying like that. But if Yi Zichen put himself in Tianhai Venerable's shoes, he could understand Bai Yu's example. Cowering. That sort of regret was torturous. Don't think too much about it. The world domination king isn't on the same side as us. In a human race universe, countless people die every second. Even for world domination kings, dying every day isn't anything new. But this time you saw it, but you didn't. Bai Yu comforted with a smile. Bai Yu chuckled and consoled. Don't just sit here. Su Yin and the others are still waiting for you to return. The trial will end soon, so we should head towards the ancestral dragon clan. How was your interaction with Su Yin and the others? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. It's all right. They seem to accept me. When she said that, Bai Yu's face inexplicably reddened. She knew very well what her words meant. That's good. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile. Yi Zichen chuckled and nodded. At that moment, a transmission suddenly appeared in his mind. The trial is over. Congratulations to the blue team for winning. Chapter 2792. The trial was over. Yi Zichen, who was sitting in front of the stream, raised his eyebrows. It's finally over. It couldn't be said that the past few months had been torture, but for Yi Zichen, it had been thrilling. Who would have thought that he, as a general, would actually participate in a battle between sovereigns and country lords? Although Yi Zichen's progress seemed to have been smooth. In fact, if there was any mistake or mistake in any of the things he did, it would cause him to be consigned to eternal damnation. Fortunately, he'd succeeded. Yi Zichen couldn't take all the credit for himself. This victory was due to everyone's hard work and sacrifice. The Iron King, he'd clearly broken through to the country lord level, but he'd still chosen to self-destruct. And 100,000 deaths worn. They were the ones who'd done the most. Then, there was the Spirit Phoenix Lord's appearance. If she hadn't come, Yi Zichen really wasn't confident that the invaders would have attacked. And then there was Tianhai. If Tianhai hadn't been there, Yi Zichen couldn't imagine what would have happened to Yi Zichen as the ruler of the world Hegemen Kingdom. This victory wasn't much. Everyone had to work hard. If anything went wrong, the trial wouldn't have ended so smoothly. But from Yi Zichen's perspective, the Spirit Phoenix Lord was a huge variable. Yi Zichen had planned on fighting for a full year and a half. He'd earned enough points. Her appearance had ended everything early. It was a pity that he didn't get to experience the scene of countless kings and country lords attacking the planet. Even he knew that Karkit was already making preparations. That guy was definitely no mediocre person. His way of thinking was actually very wise. For example, that camp, he must have instigated the Sacred Region's people. As for how he'd gotten in touch with them, Yi Zichen had no way of knowing. We won. Bayu's eyes also revealed a warm smile. Beneath this smile was a hint of dissatisfaction. She wasn't satisfied with her performance during this period of time. The way she saw it, apart from Su Yin, none of the trial takers had contributed much to this victory. No matter how Bayu analyzed it, her analysis was based on Yi Zichen's own analysis, or at least, he'd agreed with her. She didn't manage to say something unique, a unique viewpoint. On the other hand, Su Yin was able to see the situation clearly, and she could even use her healing abilities to heal the wounded of the Sacred Universe country. This was something no one else could do. Of course, he was merely dissatisfied. Bayu wouldn't give up on himself over such a small matter. There were still many days ahead of her, and she had enough time to grow. He had matured to the point where he could hold his own, so strong that Yi Zichen could rely on her. As she thought about it, Bayu couldn't help but clench her fists. She made up her mind to do even better next time. "Huh, what are you doing?" Yi Zichen smiled when he saw Bayu clench his fist. Excited, a little. Bayu smiled and nodded. He loosened his tightly clenched fists. "We've been under a lot of pressure during this period of time. Once the trial ends, everyone will be able to relax a bit." "That's not a good idea." Yi Zichen smiled warmly. "In the future, when we go to the Ancestral Dragon Clan, the situation might be even more dangerous than it is now. This is actually just a trial for us before we enter the Ancestral Dragon Clan. The real trial is yet to come, so we have to be as tense as possible." "Understood." Bayu nodded, her gaze resolute. Yi Zichen rubbed her head when he saw her determined expression. "Don't feel too much pressure. I'm here." Planet Nirvana. In the resting area of the military base, everyone received the news that the trial had ended. The Sacred Universe country warriors all felt as if a burden had been lifted from their shoulders. The trial had ended. That meant they wouldn't be attacked for a while, at the very least. Of course, this wasn't a final decision. As for what to do next, that would depend on Tian Hai and the Milky Way Lord arrangements. They all knew. The trial had ended with the Milky Way Lord's trial, while the war between the Sacred Universe countries was still ongoing. They couldn't relax in the slightest, reclaim their homeland. That was the end of their trial. Yi, after receiving the news that the trial had ended, Tian Hai had come early to wait. Tian Hai, as soon as Yi Zichen returned, he saw that Tian Hai was ready to go. "I'm preparing to go to the main planet," said Tian Hai solemnly. Skysea's expression was solemn. "Now that your trial here is over, I have nothing to worry about. Furthermore, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix is there, so I need to go and clean things up." "You're not going to rest for a while?" During this period of time, the warriors had been extremely tense. The intense pressure of battle had left them in poor shape. "No rest." Tian Hai's expression was solemn. "It's not that I don't sympathize with them. I've thought about letting them rest, but I'm afraid, once they let go of their tense nerves, will they be able to recover? Might as well let them stay tense for a while longer. In any case, we're not going back to the main planet to fight. The Venerable Spirit Phoenix has already taken care of everything. We just need to go and clean things up." "That's fine." Yi Zichen nodded. He agreed with Tian Hai's decision. It was true. After a long period of tense nerves, if they suddenly relaxed, it would be very difficult to get them tense again. Furthermore, the Venerable Spirit Phoenix had sent him a message. She told Tian Hai to clean things up. That meant she'd already taken care of everything. "Then you guys go ahead. I have to board a warship and leave for the Ancestral Dragon Clan as well. I'll leave these preparations for you. Once the people of the Milky Way galaxy arrive, they'll be stationed here as well to help you clean up the Sacred Region Cosmic Country." Yi Zichen smiled. "Thank you." Tian Hai truly didn't know what to say in response. Yi Zichen, he'd really helped him too much. Whether it was the preparations for battle or the reinforcements, Tian Hai would never be able to repay Yi Zichen for the rest of his life. He wasn't afraid of adding flowers to brocade, but he was afraid of sending charcoal in snowy weather. Sending charcoal in snowy weather. He would never be able to repay this in this lifetime. "We're all brothers. There's no need to be polite." Yi Zichen patted his shoulder with a smile. "When I get back, I'll attend your and Jingling's wedding. Don't do it in secret before I get back." "I'll wait for you." Tian Hai laughed heartily. Yi Zichen laughed as well. Go, Yi. Everything is going smoothly for the ancestral dragon clan. Tian Hai patted Yi Zichen's shoulder, then called out to the soldiers who were already prepared. Everyone, depart. In the blink of an eye, millions of soldiers entered their cabins, and countless ships departed for Nirvana. Yi Zichen stretched lazily and shrugged. Let's go as well. To the ancestral dragon clan. Chapter 2793. The battleship set sail. Tian Hai led his warriors to the Holy Domain Cosmic Nation's capital planet to carry out his grand reclamation. He left behind 100,000 soldiers to guard planet Nirvana. In truth, that was enough. The invaders had all been purged, and the Holy Domain Cosmic Nation no longer had any enemies. In any case, the Milky Way had made an announcement. Even if there really were thieves, they wouldn't dare act recklessly after seeing the Milky Way's announcement. This time's trial was All-Star Lord Sang Yue's handiwork. This was the most he could do. What else could he do? He didn't dare send any more soldiers. That was inevitable. To tell the truth, Yi Zichen was truly curious about the ancestral dragon clan's location. But where did that energy crystal and camp come from? Yi Zichen couldn't understand. What was even more noteworthy was that after the trial ended, those camps and crystals disappeared just as suddenly as they'd appeared. Where they'd come from and where they'd gone, no one knew. Seriously, this trial wasn't interesting at all. Meng Luo pouted, clearly displeased. I didn't do anything. Only the great god and big sister Su Yin did. It's like we're here for nothing. Didn't you say you'd just be a salted fish? Laughed Hua Jianro. I'm just saying. Meng Luo drooped her head. Also, I thought Kiki was like me. Who would have guessed she was a golden dragon? Oh, right. Suddenly, Hua Jinro's expression froze. Our trial was broadcasted live. Those trial takers definitely know that Kiki is a golden dragon, right? That should be the case. Bayu nodded and muttered. The trial was broadcasted live. Participants could choose what they wanted to watch. Xia Kiki, in her golden dragon form, was definitely watching. Many people knew that she was from the dragon clan. This time, when we head to the ancestral dragon clan, those trial takers all know that Kiki is a dragon. We have to be careful. Didn't Tian Hai say there's a dragon senior there? Meng Luo blinked. There might be, but there's nothing wrong with being cautious, said Su Lu. That dragon race elder might take care of Kiki, but there's one thing that I don't think is wrong. What do you guys think? Big sister Luo, go ahead. Meng Luo said. Don't you think Senior Dragon is locked there? Su Luo squinted her eyes. I don't think that Dragon Senior has a very high status there. The reason why I think this way is because of what Supremacy Tian Hai just said. He said, supremacies have to go to the ancestral dragon clan to be taught. From this, I can tell that the ancestral dragon clan is actually a very tyrannical and unreasonable place. The experts of the various races there are not necessarily willing to stay there, but they have no other choice. Their status is relatively low. Everyone in the cabin frowned. It seemed to make sense. There was nothing wrong with Su Luer's way of thinking. Thinking about it this way, if the experts of the Dragon Clan really had a high status, then why couldn't he leave the ancestral Dragon Clan? Wouldn't it be better for him to teach the juniors of his tribe? If he stayed in the ancestral Dragon Clan, how many times would he be able to see his clansmen in these tens of thousands of years? It was very possible that Su Luer was right. The seniors of the Divine Beast clans had no choice but to stay there. Furthermore, their statuses weren't all that high. Big Sister Luer's idea is quite unique. Bayu furrowed his brows. Also, I think it's possible. Then what should we do? Meng Luo covered her mouth in astonishment. Dragons have special statuses. In human territory, many parties will pay attention to them. Bayu furrowed his brows. However, with the dragon race seniors present, they will at least have some deterrence. Also, Senior Tian Hai said that having a dragon by the side of the Milky Way Lord isn't a problem. What's more, Kiki is Yeezy's wife. Actually, once we get there, we can't let Kiki go alone. She needs someone by her side. As for the rest, let's just wait until we get there and see how the others react. We still need to form alliances. murmured Su Yan. The first thing we need to do when we get there is confirm who our allies are. Since we're in the territory of other races, and we're all in a competitive relationship, splitting up is inevitable. If we remain independent, we'll suffer in the end. Everyone in the cabin discussed animatedly. Yi Zichen silently listened to them, watching as they expressed their opinions. His eyes lit up with a smile. This was a pretty good situation. Everyone was able to blend in. This was the feeling that a small team should have. Anyway, we'll only know when we get there. Hua Jinro exhaled softly. Moreover, with the identity of our team, those highnesses and highnesses wouldn't dare to do anything to us. Let's not talk about anything else but the Milky Way Overlord and Fire God's daughter by you. Would they dare to stir up trouble in front of us? Yes. And my baby rabbit. Meng Luo widened her eyes. Meng Luo, who never talked about serious matters and always liked to interrupt others, once again went off topic. All right, great God. Have we given out our rewards yet? I'm rich. Yi Zichen shrugged, then looked at the points. The victory this time gave us 512 times the 960 points, which is 490,000 points. Among them, because our side won, we obtained 1% of the red side's draw prize pool, which is 400,000 points. Now, we have 900,000 points in our hands. Gone. Meng Luo blinked. That's all. It can't be, it's just the points. Even Hua Jinro frowned. What's the point of continuously giving us points? Didn't they say that the ancestral dragon clan's trial would give divine artifacts, heavenly artifacts, primordial divine artifacts, and so on? It might be after we go in. Baiyu muttered. I think someone took it for himself. Hua Jinro twitched her mouth. Yes, I took it for myself. Yi Zichen couldn't be bothered to argue. He knew that Hua Jinro was purposely looking for trouble. These points should be very important. If there are no surprises, we should be the team with the highest points, right? The flame rat muttered. It should be. They had 512 times the original amount, and also obtained the points from the prize pool. If there were no surprises, they should be the team with the highest points. I hope the points won't disappoint me. Hua Jinro twitched her mouth. All right, everyone has worked hard. No matter what the points are, we'll consider it when we get to the ancestral dragon clan. During this period of time, everyone is free to do whatever you want. Cultivate, relax. It's up to you. Yi Zichen stood up with a smile. The real trial will begin when we arrive at the ancestral dragon clan. Chapter 2794. Inside the Azure Palace. The entire palace was filled with an ocean. The palace was so big that one could not see the end of it. In this ocean, a Lolita-like woman emerged from the surface of the ocean. Immediately, two handsome men appeared beside her. One of them was holding a dry towel, while the other was holding a rare fruit. How long is Justice's judgment on me? The woman's toes touched the surface of the ocean as she wiped her wet hair with the towel. 2 months. This Justice is really a headache. He's the same as Gong Zheng. Both of them are stubborn. The woman took a deep breath, as if she was scoffing at Justice's judgment. So what if you seal me up? I will still be the one to make the final judgment. Lady Zhu Ying is right. The handsome man smiled. The person in front of her was Zhu Ying. As she had colluded with evil and killed Gong Zheng, she was judged by Justice. The result of the judgment was that she would be sealed in this palace. Her activity was also limited to this palace. All matters of the ancestral dragon tribe were managed by Justice. She could only leave and continue her work when the time was up. In other words, judgment. She did not resist, nor did she refute in front of the elders. She accepted it. This kind of punishment was within her acceptable range. She could not be bothered to struggle pointlessly. If she did, she would lose face as a judge. It was good that she had been managing the ancestral dragon tribe for so long. She wanted to rest for a period of time. She would treat this period of time as a holiday for herself. Any news from the outside during this period of time? With a light tap of her finger, the ocean in the palace suddenly disappeared and turned into a luxurious palace. Zhu Ying sat on the throne as she wiped her hair and asked casually, "There's no special news. Not long ago, our ancestral dragon tribe welcomed the first human to enter our land. According to the elders' decision, the first human to enter the ancestral dragon tribe was given a chance to draw a prize. There were a total of 10 of them. Due to the difficulty, the highest prize they could get was a heavenly god tool. Among them, 4 of them got a monarch tool, 3 got a king tool, and 2 got a duke tool. The handsome man answered, "What about the rest?" He got a heavenly god artifact. The man with the face of an idol whispered softly. Zhu Ying raised her eyebrows when she heard this. A heavenly god tool? What's the difficulty level? 256 times. What a silly boy. Hearing this multiple, Zhu Ying knew that this person must have had connection somewhere. He most likely believed Zhu Ying's words and chose people according to her instructions. What did you smoke? Soul-suppressing orb. What? Zhu Ying, who was originally smiling, abruptly stood up from his seat. He actually drew the soul-suppressing orb. Yes, his luck is really good. Currently, the human race's equipment was divided into Ancient Creation God Artifact, Creation God Artifact, Ancient Heavenly God Artifact, Heavenly God Artifact, Ancient God Artifact, Divine Artifact, Subdivine Artifact, Pseudo-Divine Artifact, Nation Artifact, King Artifact, Public Artifact, and so on. The tools with the word ancient on them were all born from the heavens and earth. It was unique. Non-ancient weapons were forged by humans and nurtured by the heavens and earth, but their attributes were much weaker than ancient weapons. Among these grades of tools, not all tools of the same grade had the same value. True Soul Pearl. It belonged to the top of the Heavenly God Artifact. Soul Divine Artifact. In the Ancestral Dragon Clan storage, there were a total of 3 soul-suppressing orbs. 2 of them had already been obtained by others in the previous trial. This was the last one. However, those who obtained the soul-suppressing orb previously also obtained it through points. Lottery. There was a chance of getting it, but it was very slim. Who is the person who drew the soul-suppressing orb? I want to take a look. Before Zhu Ying finished his sentence, a projection appeared in front of him. On it was Chun, and who was chasing behind Gumomo. The soul-suppressing orb is with that girl. Yes, the moment His Majesty obtained the soul-suppressing orb, he immediately gave it to that girl and was rejected. The man replied, "Rejected? Heavenly God artifact? You don't want it?" "Yes." The pink-faced young man nodded. In the end, His Holiness knelt on the ground and begged bitterly, hugging the girl's leg. Only then did the girl reluctantly accept it. After that, the girl extracted her genitalia and gave it to him. Then, something very strange happened. What happened? The public artifact was broken. There was actually a heavenly god artifact level ring inside. Zhu Ying was dumbfounded. The person who drew the soul-suppressing orb and gave it to the rest of the team. There was a heavenly god artifact level ring inside the public artifact. This subordinate checked this person's background after that. The pink-faced man tapped his finger lightly, and all of Chun An's information appeared in front of Zhu Ying. Zhu Ying squinted his eyes for a long time. The more he looked, the more shocked he became. There is actually such a person with such great luck in this world. There was nothing to explain. It was luck. What else could you say about someone who could stumble and pick up a divine artifact? Fortune rivaling the heavens. This person deserves special attention. He is a person who has gathered the universe's chi vein. We can cultivate him. Zhu Ying squinted his eyes. Is there anything else? How about I let you see the situation of the Milky Way Master's Disciples trial? It's already over. Over. It ended very early, the pink-faced man replied. Sovereign Spirit Phoenix participated in the trial and destroyed the trial crystal on the spot. According to the difficulty factor and the reward, Yi Zichen's team now has 900,000 points. That much? Zhu Ying frowned. That's right. His first trial had a difficulty factor of 8 times, and his completion rate was 100%. Since he was the second person to discover the trial, he was rewarded with a completion rate of 20%. His completion rate for the first round was 120%, and his initial points were 100. He had 960 points at the end of the first round. The difficulty factor of the second round was 512 times, and he had 490,000 points. 1% of the prize pool was 400,000. Is he the person with the highest points now? No. The pink-faced man shook his head. The person with the highest is Chunin, who you saw just now. He has 21 million points. He obtained his points from betting 10,000 on the red side and 15600 on the blue side. In the end, the blue side won, so he earned 5,600 points. The difficulty factor of 216 times gave him 21 million points. This Chunin, Zhu Ying frowned. We don't care about Chunin, but we can't let Yizichin have so many points. Has he arrived at the Ancestral Dragon Clan yet? According to the information from the voyage, soon. All right, go and find some people to take back his points. No matter what method you use, you must take back all of his points. Chapter 2795. In the outer space of the Ancestral Dragon Race. After a long and tedious voyage, Yizichin followed the universal coordinates to the outskirts of the Ancestral Dragon Clan. What came into view was an unbelievably large black hole. The huge black hole seemed to be devouring the surrounding cosmic energy every minute and second, but the battleships and spaceships parked outside the black hole were not affected at all. Wait, why is there a spaceship? Yizichin suspected that there was something wrong with his vision, so he rubbed his eyes repeatedly. Finally, he confirmed that it was indeed a spaceship. Among the tens of thousands of interstellar battleships, only that spaceship seemed out of place. Wow, what a big black hole. Meng Luo opened her mouth in surprise. Everyone else in the cabin had similar expressions. Black hole. As an expert of the universe, seeing a black hole wasn't a big deal. Such a huge black hole was truly frightening. At that moment, Su Yin noticed Yizichin's gaze. At first, she thought Yizichin was rubbing his eyes because he was surprised at the size of the black hole. She thought it was rather funny. She hadn't expected Yizichin to reveal such an expression. However, she quickly realized that Yizichin wasn't paying attention to the black hole. Frowning, she walked over and followed his gaze. What are you looking at? Hey, didn't you guys notice? There's a spaceship there, and it's the smallest manned spaceship. Yizichin pointed towards the spaceship. At this time, the others looked in the direction of the spaceship. Damn, it's true. Hua Jinro narrowed her eyes and muttered, looking at the craftsmanship, it seems to be an antique from 2,000 years ago. How could there be such navigation equipment here? Who's driving it? Don't tell me it's someone who's here to participate in the trial. It was unlikely. If they really were trial takers who had come here, they would all be Her Majesty or Her Highness of the 8 Great Tycoons, or some peak non-human beast race experts. These races and tycoons wouldn't be so stingy. Driving a spaceship over, wasn't that a disgrace to his hometown? Or is it the venerable one? Xiaokiki rubbed her chin. I remember Tianhai saying that Sovereign is coming to the Ancestral Dragon Clan as well. Everyone in the cabin was speechless. If it was a venerable one, how poor must that venerable one be? It would be fine if he did not buy a battleship. Getting a spaceship that was slightly more comfortable would be a piece of cake for him. There was no need to say much. Could it be that he was unwilling to part with 2 million universe dollars? Achoo! On the streets of the Ancestral Dragon Clan, a woman with a wine gourd on her waist, wearing worn-out straw sandals, and nothing valuable on her was covering her nose as she sneezed and scratched her straw-like hair. That's strange. Why have I been sneezing for the past 2 days? Could it be that I'm sick? The appearance of a beggar attracted a lot of attention on the streets of the Ancestral Dragon Clan. However, this woman did not have the slightest bit of shyness. There were so many people looking at her, but she still picked her ears, rubbed her butt, and even scratched it twice. The elasticity is still the same. Nodding proudly, the woman tilted her head and looked at the little girl behind her. Disciple, Master seems to be sick. He keeps sneezing. Can you give me some money to see a doctor? Pooey. 10 meters behind the woman was a little porcelain doll girl who spat on the ground. Do you want money to see a doctor, or do you want money to gamble? See a doctor, I sneezed. The woman replied. That's not an illness. That's what people keep talking about. The little girl pouted. Is that so? The woman raised her head proudly. That's right. Your master also has a beauty that can make the moon and flowers blush. A perfect woman that can captivate even the birds and beasts. The places that should be big are big, and the places that should be perky are perky. There are indeed countless people who are infatuated with me. Have some shame. The little girl's face instantly turned black. I'm talking about that lousy spaceship of yours. When we came, everyone came in a big battleship. Only you drove a lousy spaceship. How embarrassing. How dare you talk about Master? The woman glared and walked forward. What do you mean by lousy spaceship? Didn't we drive a big battleship previously? Didn't we lose in the middle? This wasn't an emergency. Can you blame me? You still have the cheek to say that? You've lost all my red packet money. The little girl pouted. Moreover, you were the one who insisted on gambling with others. If you didn't go, will we have lost everything? It's just some broken money. Look at how stingy you are. When Master goes out, I'll go to the novice village's mystic realm and casually make a few rounds. Your red packet money will be back. The woman had a look of disdain. Moreover, do you think I'm willing to take your red packet money? Didn't I lose so much that I even gave my underwear to others? Don't say any more. The little girl covered her face. What are you afraid of? What's there to be embarrassed about? Little disciple, you have to learn from Master. Don't care about what others think. Life is short. Just enjoy yourself. Why should you be restricted by those rules? The woman's expression was calm. She grabbed the big wine gourd and took a sip. You're still too young. If you keep doing this, how can you learn my true skills? I don't want to learn either. The little girl pouted. If it wasn't for my father forcing me to come, I wouldn't have come. Hearing the little girl's words, the woman who poured wine pursed her lips, raised her hand, and nodded. You have no conscience, do you? I wonder who was the one who cried and begged to go with me. You were cool at that time. The little girl frowned. Think about how cool you were at that time. You dressed so handsomely. Of course, I liked you after seeing you. But look at you now. Your hair hasn't been washed for months. And look at what you're wearing now. You stole it from a nearby live star before coming here. I'm cool now, too. The woman glared at her. I lost all my money because my luck wasn't good. Wait for me to turn the tables, then you'll be cool again. You little girl, you're a little snobbish. Shameful. The little girl looked like she was about to cry. Hey, it won't be long. Do you still have red packet money? Lend it to Master. When I turn the tables, I'll pay you back 10 times. No, don't be so stingy. Lend it to me. It's not like I won't pay you back. I don't have it. The little girl covered her ears. Don't ask me for money. Mom, I want to go home. As soon as she finished, the little girl ran out in her straw sandals. The woman holding the gourd sighed inwardly when she saw this scene. Seems like I really don't have money. What should I do? I have to find a way to turn the tables. While she was mumbling to herself, she suddenly grinned, raising her brows at the old man who was peddling nearby. Grandpa, do you want my original underwear? It's cheap. Just buy one. Let me tell you a secret. I have a body fragrance. Chapter 2796. Are there really sovereigns in the universe that have such a difficult life? Everyone in the cabin couldn't help but have a huge question mark appear in their minds. Everyone couldn't help but think about their living conditions and cultivation levels. They didn't mention Yi Zichen and company. Since their identities were special, the treatment they received was naturally different as well. Winnie had a master who was like a father to her. He treated her as if she was his own daughter. The only one who relied on herself was Aelin. He silently looked at the Universe Union Bank savings, then slowly shook his head in front of everyone. Are you that poor as well? Meng Luo blinked in shock. You're a Duke-level expert as well. You can explore the novice village's secret realm as you wish, right? You don't have to be so pitiful, right? Aelin remained silent and continued to shake his head. Oh, so you're saying that you're not that poor? Only then did Aelin nod. He took a look at his bank account and saw that it was also a 9-digit amount of universe credits. It wasn't really possible to buy a good warship, but a top-notch spaceship wasn't a problem. Everyone understood. They looked towards the antique spaceship and couldn't help but silently mourn for the sovereign senior. It's too difficult. As a venerable senior, he was only allowed to use such a small flying ship. What was his life like? Was he under a lot of pressure? Or did he have to take care of an entire clan and couldn't afford to waste money on those extravagant spaceships and warships? That shouldn't be the case, right? Even if he was a king-level expert, it would be very easy for him to obtain funds. There were many secret realms in the human universe, and many of them were novice-level secret realms. In other words, even titled-level experts could freely explore them without too much danger. There would always be many weapons, armors, and support equipment in the secret realms. These equipment could be sold for quite a bit of money. Even if he did have a clan behind him, it shouldn't be so difficult. What's more, a clan that could give birth to a sovereign-level expert couldn't possibly have too many gaps in strength. Even if a king-level expert didn't have one, they still had king-level experts. They couldn't rely on the hard work of a sovereign-level expert. What's more, if a sovereign-level expert truly felt that his clan's burden was too heavy, he could join any major corporation or first-tier or second-tier family, and they would be able to provide clan support for the sovereign-level expert. Sovereign-level. Their status in the human race was quite high. Even giant groups would pay a lot of attention to him and try their best to satisfy his needs. This was the status and treatment a powerhouse deserved in the universe. Don't think about it. Let's just go in. Perhaps this venerable one is frugal. Besides, we're only guessing now, so it's not certain that the one driving the spaceship is a venerable one. Bayou let out a light sigh. Perhaps it's Her Majesty and Her Highness. No matter what, these words were hard to believe. In other words, Karkit, who already had the highest position in the organization, was also provided with interstellar battleships by the organization. Was there any prince who was worse off than him? The possibility of it being a venerable was quite high. Little did they know, as Ezichin and Yizichin discussed the matter, a woman with hair like straw and a large gourd hanging from her waist was staring at the gambling table with bloodshot eyes. I bet. Achoo. She sneezed. She only had 500 universe credits in her hands, and she dropped them on the table. Small. In an instant, the woman's face was filled with terror. Can I change my mind? You can't. Big bro, give me some face. I want to bet big. These 500 universe credits are all of my savings. I even exchanged my original underwear for it. The woman cried. You can't. The dealer ignored the woman's cries. 445 big. The woman fell off the table and sat on the floor when she saw the result. My money. That's strange. We've already been in the outskirts of the ancestral dragon clan for a while, right? Why hasn't anyone come to pick us up yet? Hua Jinro looked outside with a frown. Before I came, my father said that someone would come and pick us up. Are we really that unwelcomed? Yizichin estimated the time. Their spaceship had already been in the ancestral dragon clan's outer space for half an hour. Since there was a black hole in front of them, they didn't dare to advance recklessly. What's more, the universe coordinates on the mail were here. There might be a lot of people, so they're settling us down. Bayou comforted softly. Bayou softly consoled. According to the time, we should be the last batch of people to arrive here. That's because we encountered a trial in the middle of the trial, and the other trial participants were able to watch the results while heading towards the ancestral dragon clan. I get angry when you mention this. For some reason, Hua Jinro suddenly frowned. Now that I think about it, our trial is like an after-dinner program. They won't be bored during the voyage and could just watch our live stream. Oh yeah, Meng Luo blinked. In that case, the ancestral dragon clan should give us a copyright fee. Give what? Do you think they'll give us that? Hua Jinro, twitch your mouth. I didn't pay much attention to it before, but now that I think about it, it's like we were played. Then, we waited here for half an hour, but they didn't send anyone to pick us up. Are they doing this on purpose? Actually, it's not impossible. Yi Zichin muttered. I guess so. Hua Jinro raised her eyebrows. Hua Jinro raised her eyebrows and said, I think so too. You are too hated in the universe. The previous trial looked like it was done behind the scenes. Will we be harmed if we follow you to the ancestral dragon tribe? Don't say it so bluntly, okay? Yi Zichin's expression darkened. He admitted that he was hated, but saying it out loud was too embarrassing. Hey, look, it seems like someone's coming to pick us up. At that moment, Meng Luo pointed outside the cabin. It was an interstellar warship sailing over from the direction of the black hole. From the coordinates and route, it seemed to be heading towards them. Approximately a few minutes later, the warship stopped outside Yi Zichin's ship. The cabin door opened, and an idle youth walked out. Please state your identity. The youth frowned. Yi Zichin nodded towards Winnie. This is the warship of the Milky Way Lord. This is the battleship of the Milky Way Overlord. We are here to participate in the ancestral dragon tribe's trial as representatives of the Virtual World Corporation. Please leave the cabin. The ancestral dragon clan will carry you for the rest of the journey. Sure. The cabin door opened, and Yi Zichen and company walked out. What should we do with our warship? Winnie asked. Don't worry, the ancestral dragon clan will arrange the warship for you. Now, please board the ship and head towards the ancestral dragon clan. Chapter 2797. The warship sailed. As soon as he stepped into the cabin, the handsome young man who'd come to greet Yi Zichen and the others placed his right hand over his heart and bowed deeply to Yi Zichen. Sovereign's Milky Way Lord. Your Holiness Yi Zichen of the Virtual World Corporation. I, Zhu Yunshi, represent all of the ancestral dragon clan to extend my sincerest welcome to you. Zhu Yunshi bowed deeply and spoke sincerely. His back was bent at a 90-degree angle. Hello. Yi Zichen nodded in return. Your Holiness Yi, did you encounter any problems on the way here? Zhu Yunshi snapped his fingers. Instantly, several people appeared in the cabin. Winnie and Aylin raised their eyebrows. The moment they entered the cabin, they had scanned it with their cosmic energy. In their search, they did not discover anyone. It was as if these people had appeared out of thin air, causing them to frown. They seemed to be attendants. They were all holding delicacies, wine, and fruits in their hands. After putting them down, they suddenly left. During this time, Winnie and Aylin had locked onto them with their cosmic energy. They had observed their every move in order to prevent anything unexpected from happening. For example, if these people suddenly attacked Yi Zichen. Fortunately, they didn't. However, what surprised Winnie and Aylin was that even though they had been locked on to their movements the whole time, the energy imprints on them disappeared after they retreated. It was as if they had never appeared in the first place. Zhu Yunshi looked up at Winnie and Aylin, then gestured for Yi Zichen to sit. Yi Zichen sat down on the opposite side of the table. Zhu Yunshi also sat down, then nodded towards Meng Luo and company. Everyone, feel free to do as you please. Just treat this as your own warship. There is no need for any restrictions. You are all honored guests of the ancestral dragon clan, so we will do our best to satisfy all of your requests. With that, Zhu Yunshi raised his cup with a smile. Once again, welcome your Holiness Yi to our ancestral dragon clan. You're too polite. Lord, just as Yi Zichen was about to raise his cup, Winnie subconsciously raised her hand to stop him. What is it? Yi Zichen put down the cup in confusion. Winnie reached out and grabbed the cup, then used universal energy to analyze the wine several times. Is this beautiful lady Lord Yi Qingyu's guard? You're quite responsible. Zhu Yunshi smiled and looked at Winnie. May I know how to address this beautiful lady? Winnie. Oh, Winnie, you're Chicano's student, right? Zhu Yunshi seemed to be very familiar with the matters of the universe. Looks like Venerable Chicano has indeed joined the Milky Way galaxy, and he is very approving of His Majesty Yi. This time, the ancestral dragon clan actually let his most precious student be your guard. Yi Zichen did not reply. He merely looked up at Winnie. Winnie did not let go of his hand. After about half a minute, she nodded slightly. It seems like Miss Winnie's examination is over. Actually, there's no need to be so cautious. Lord Yi Qingyu is a distinguished guest of our ancestral dragon clan. If anything happens to him, then our ancestral dragon clan will not be able to bear the consequences. Everyone knows that Milky Way Lord Yi Zichen is the favorite disciple of the Milky Way Master. He also has a close relationship with the head of the Virtual Realm Corporation, Winnie, and the head of the Universe Union Bank, Blue Emperor. We, the ancestral dragon clan, will definitely prepare things like the examination beforehand. Otherwise, even if we are the ancestral dragon clan, we might not be able to endure the wrath of those two powerhouses. Zhu Yunshi's words were very gentle and gentlemanly. He maintained a warm smile the entire time. Yi Zichen also raised his cup with a shrug. Sire, please don't mind. They're just rather cautious. Caution isn't a bad thing. Zhu Yunshi nodded in understanding. Caution is the #1 requirement if you want to live long in the human universe. However, I have to remind Lord Yi Qing you. Oh, for what? Try not to do that when you're inside the Ancestral Dragon Clan. We can definitely guarantee your safety, Zhu Yunshi said seriously. Zhu Yunshi said sternly. If you keep doing this, the seniors will think that you don't trust our Ancestral Dragon Clan. You might not know this, but our Ancestral Dragon Clan doesn't like outsiders coming here. The reason why we open the gates of the Ancestral Dragon Clan is because of the 8 great leaders. The arrival of lords and highnesses like you, as well as the other members of the trial team, is actually a huge blow to our clan. We endured all of that in order to let you guys come. If you still doubt us, then it will make our people sad. Is that so? I'll try my best. Yi Zichen raised his cup and took a sip of the purplish red wine. The moment the wine entered his mouth, Yi Zichen couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. The wine contained a very dense amount of cosmic energy. Furthermore, the cosmic energy was extremely pure. It was as pure as the result of someone absorbing and purifying it multiple times. We, the Ancestral Dragon Clan, know that you are an Earthling. There's a type of wine on Earth called grape wine, and we, the Ancestral Dragon Clan, also produce grapes. The wine you drank just now was watered with heavenly spring holy water. Grapes that take 3,000 years to ripen are fermented. This kind of wine contains very pure cosmic energy. It is very effective for cultivation and recovering from old injuries. Actually, it's not an exaggeration to say that the sip you took just now, if calculated according to universe credits, is worth 2 million universe credits. Normally, we wouldn't bear to drink it. Only when we receive esteemed guests like you will we take out this wine to serve you. As a receptionist, I can only taste a cup because of you. Zhu Yunshi raised his cup and downed the wine. Then, he put down his cup and looked at Yi Zichen with a smile. It's not cheap. Yi Zichen also finished his cup. Yi Zichen also finished the wine in his cup. If Lord Zhu Yunshi likes it, then you can have the rest of the wine. I don't really like drinking. How could I? Zhu Yunshi declined. It's nothing. Yi Zichen shrugged, then pushed the wine in front of Zhu Yunshi. Zhu Yunshi hesitated for a moment, then silently accepted the wine. Then I thank the Milky Way Lord. You're too polite. Yi Zichen did not say anything else in response to Zhu Yunshi's gratitude. Then he tasted the other fruits on the table. From the taste of the fruits, he could tell that they were very similar to the fruits on Earth. These fruits were also grown according to the fruits on your Earth. It's no different from the fruits on your parents' Earth. I can feel it. Yi Zichen shrugged. Yi Zichen shrugged. These fruits are just normal fruits, and they look like they were just planted. Then I have a question. Please, did you send people to Earth? Chapter 2798. The moment Yi Zichen said that, Zhu Yunshi could clearly feel the coldness in Yi Zichen's eyes. Earth, Earth. Ever since Yi Zichen sat down, Zhu Yunshi had already mentioned the word Earth multiple times. Earth's wine, Earth's fruits. Let's say that the wine was something they found on the Universal Network, and they happened to be able to make it, so they took it out. Then, what about the fruits? Apples, bananas, strawberries. Yi Zichen had never seen any of these fruits in other galaxies. There might be similar fruits, but the taste and the energy contained within them were completely different from those on Earth. Yet, the fruits of the Ancestral Dragon Clan, it was as if they were taken from Earth. There was no difference at all. How did they do it? Went to Earth. The Milky Way was Yi Zichen's route, and Earth was a reverse scale that he was not allowed to touch. Zhu Yunshi looked at Yi Zichen for a long time, then smiled. Your Holiness Yi, you're overthinking it. Is that so? Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and said in a rather unfriendly tone, Then tell me, how did you get these fruits? Grow them. Zhu Yunshi's answer was very certain. Your Holiness Yi, please believe in one thing. Nothing in the Milky Way is unique. Since it was able to grow in your place, then it can naturally grow here as well. We, the Ancestral Dragon Clan, have everything in the universe. You can treat us as a specimen bank. Any kind of vegetation or rock specimen can be found here, including the fruits on your Earth. We only need these specimens to grow them. There is no need for us to personally go to your homeland Earth. I'm doing this so that you can feel like you've returned home. If my actions have caused you to misunderstand, I hereby apologize to you. Zhu Yinshi stood up once again and bowed towards Yi Zichen. Then he sat back down with a smile. What's more, Your Holiness Yi, please think about how long it will take for you to get here from the Milky Way. Can we make it back and forth in such a short period of time? What's more, you might not want to hear it. You haven't reached the point where we, the ancestral dragon clan, need to flatter you like this. In order to satisfy your taste buds, we specially went to your homeland. Yi Zichen remained silent when Zhu Yinshi finished speaking. Yi Zichen was very dissatisfied with his answer. Extremely dissatisfied. His explanation just now was completely wrong. Yi Zichen had been chosen to come to the ancestral dragon clan more than 10 years ago. He shouldn't have used Yi Zichen's departure time as a comparison. Also, the ancestral dragon race was omnipotent, who knew how long it would take for them to reach the Milky Way galaxy. Perhaps they could go back and forth within a day. At that moment, Yi Zichen seriously suspected that they had been to Earth before, but they were just pretending to be unwilling to tell the truth. Then are they related to Xia Keek's illness? These fellows seem to be very close to Star Lord Sang Yue. Unfortunately, Yi Zichen couldn't do anything. Even though this Zhu Yinshi seemed to be fawning over him, Winnie had already sent him a voice transmission. This person's strength was at least at the country king level. Winnie and Aelin were dukes, and they were much weaker than a king. Most importantly, this was the ancestral dragon clan's territory. Yi Zichen couldn't afford to make things difficult for them. There was no other way. Even if he had doubts in his heart, he could only hide it in his heart. I see. Yi Zichen forced a warm smile. Then I'm sorry, I was overthinking things. Lord Yi, there is no need to apologize. Zhu Yinshi was still as understanding as ever. Your Excellency Zhu Yinshi, from what you just said, the ancestral dragon clan seems to be a very mysterious clan. You actually possess everything in the universe. Just what kind of clan are you? Also, from what you just said, you seem to understand the universe quite well. For example, Winnie. You could tell right off the bat that she was Chicano's student. Asked Yi Zichen. Huh. Zhu Yinshi laughed inexplicably. Your Majesty Yi, are you trying to get information out of me? It's not that serious, said Yi Zichen. If you want to tell me, then tell me. If you don't, I won't make things difficult for you. No matter what, you're still a venerable, and the strongest among us are only 2 dukes. Your Majesty Yi. Zhu Yinshi smiled and shook his head as if to say, you're not being honest. Although he didn't say it out loud, Yi Zichen could see it clearly from his gaze. That was exactly what he was thinking. Before long, he retracted his gaze and shrugged. Actually, there's nothing I can't say. Lord Yi, you will understand when you enter our ancestral dragon clan. The ancestral dragon clan is actually the beginning of the universe. The beginning? Yi Zichen frowned. That's right, the universe evolved. At the very beginning, the universe wasn't as large as it is today. Back then, the universe only had us, the ancestral dragon clan, as a black hole. Zhu Yinshi pointed at the black hole outside. Zhu Yinshi pointed at the black hole outside. We will enter the black hole later. That is where our ancestral dragon clan lives. As for the starting ground, it's also the place where the first humans were active. After that, other planets with life, stars, planets with resources and resources were born. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. This was a new theory, but he wasn't surprised. He had never thought that the human universe would be this large from the very beginning. Nurture and destruction must be eternal and unchanging. Even now, weren't there still planets being born out of it? You are the progenitors of the human race? No. Lord Yi, please don't say that. Zhu Yinshi hurriedly shook his head. The birth of the human race has nothing to do with us. It was the birth of your planet's children. As for how they were born, I'm not too sure either. Then what is this starting ground for? If the birth of the human race had nothing to do with the ancestral dragon clan, then what was the point of this starting ground? Was it just a place where life was born? Yi Zichen didn't think it was that simple. The ancestral dragon clan must have been given some sort of blame. Otherwise, they wouldn't have so many incomprehensible abilities and behaviors. For example, the camp from before. Even the Virtual World Corporation couldn't level up the camp with points and produce a fixed number of experts every day. If anyone in a human race could do something like that, then the entire universe would have to listen to them. Checks and balances. Zhu Yinshi smiled. We, the Ancestral Dragon Clan, exist to manage the human race. We are the managers. Chapter 2799. The Manager of the Human Race. Hearing Zhu Yunshi's words, even Meng Luo and the others who were gorging themselves came over. Of course, none of them got too close. He stood at the periphery and pricked up his ears to listen. Baiyu, did you hear that? Hua. Jinro frowned. Just now, he said that the Ancestral Dragon Tribe is the manager of the human race. How come I didn't know about this? My father never told me about it. One had to know. Hua Jinro's clan had paragons and overlords. His father was a peak overlord among overlords, just like Lion Hong's father, the heavenly lion overlord. He knew almost everything in the universe. However, she had never heard her father mention that the Ancestral Dragon Clan was a manager. Before he came, he had asked many questions about the Ancestral Dragon Clan. Her father had actually told her quite a lot, but this was never mentioned. I heard it. Baiyu slightly nodded. However, this is the first time I've heard of such a thing. Hey, if the Ancestral Dragon Clan is the manager, then isn't it the same as our Earths? Before Xia Kiki could finish, Su Yin suddenly covered her mouth. Xia Kiki looked at Su Yin in shock. Then, she saw Su Yin's serious expression. Her expression was a warning. I can't say it. Su Yin knew what Xia Kiki wanted the moment she opened her mouth. The land of laws. Back on Earth, the divine planet, the immortal planet. Back then, they didn't even know the vastness of the human universe. Yi Zichen hadn't even transcended. He was still at the so-called domain level. They had come into contact with a powerful force. This was the master of the laws. The masters of the laws controlled the laws of heaven and earth, and they could control and manage the human race. When Zhu Yinshi mentioned that the Ancestral Dragon Clan was the manager, the first thing that came to her mind was the land of laws. However, this was not something that could be said carelessly. After entering the universe, Su Yin noticed that there were many things in the Milky Way that couldn't be accepted in the universe, or rather, they were special. For example, elemental control. Earth's experts, even if they were at the immortal realm, were able to control the 5 elements Great Tao and thus control the elemental laws. They could comprehend time, space, destruction, life, but in the universe, the laws of space could only be grasped by supremacies. He had never even heard of the law of time. Elemental mastery required warrior level and above. Furthermore, the Milky Way galaxy had the celestial race and the mythological beast race. But in the universe, the mythological beast race couldn't move around freely, so their numbers were very small. The Protoss needed to be captured and exterminated. Simply put, the Milky Way was like a miniature version of the universe. Everything that the universe had, the Milky Way had. The universe does not have, the Milky Way has. What the universe could do, what the Milky Way galaxy could do, what the human race couldn't do, or what required extremely high strength, the Milky Way galaxy could do. Now, the Ancestral Dragon Clan had merged with the land of law. Su Yin felt as if she had discovered a serious problem. Just now, Xia Kiki wanted to say the land of laws. Su Yin definitely couldn't let her speak. If she did, the Milky Way galaxy might suffer a calamity. Hey Kiki, what do you want to say? Meng Luo frowned in confusion. Even Zhu Yinshi, who was sitting in front of Yi Zichen, looked over. I wanted to say, isn't it similar to the managers in games, managing the players in the game? Xia Kiki grinned. That's all you want to say? Meng Luo blinked. What's there to cover your mouth about? Just say it. But Kiki, your example is pretty vivid. It really does seem like it. I'm giving her candy. Su Yin also smiled and opened the candy in her hand. Su Yin also smiled and spread out the candy in her hand. I originally wanted to scare her a bit. Is that so? Meng Luo smiled, then looked at the candy in Su Yan's hand. Is this candy delicious? Why don't I see it? I brought this from Earth. It's strawberry flavored. If you want to eat it, you can have it. Su Yin smiled. Sure, sure. Meng Luo once again changed the topic perfectly. Zhu Yinshi looked at the candy for a while, then looked away. What he didn't know was that Yi Zichen also let out a sigh of relief. It was all thanks to Su Yan's quick hands. It could be said that Su Yin, Xia Kiki, and Yi Zichen were very close friends. Xia Kiki opened her mouth, but Yi Zichen knew what she wanted to say. The land of laws. Is this the time to talk about this? If I do, then I definitely won't get anything good out of it. It seems like I'll have to wait until there are no ancestral dragon spies around to properly explain to Xia Kiki what I can and can't say. Yi Zichen relaxed and raised his eyebrows. Managing the human race? How does the ancestral dragon clan manage the human race? Yi Zichen's tone was calm, as if nothing had happened. However, Zhu Yinshi glanced at Xia Kiki from time to time. Yi Zichen had no idea what he was thinking. After a long while, he finally replied with a smile. It's just that we manage certain actions of the human race. When Lord Yi enters the ancestral dragon clan, you will understand that the composition of the ancestral dragon clan is actually very strange. Oh, Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. We, the ancestral dragon clan, have the adjudicator, balance, justice, fairness, evil, kindness, and many others. They also represent the personalities of the human race, Zhu Yinshi explained with a smile. They will judge certain humans, but they are actually more in charge of the internal affairs of the ancestral dragon clan. This is because the master of the Milky Way, who is also your teacher, came to our clan several 100,000 years ago. Back then, he felt that the ancestral dragon clan's management of the human race was hindering the development of the human race, so he made an agreement with us. What agreement? A duel? Zhu Yinshi replied. The master of the Milky Way challenged the strongest person in our clan, the adjudicator. If he won, then we will give up on managing the human race. If he lost, then he will stay in the ancestral dragon clan for the rest of his life and serve us. You guys agreed? No, but the adjudicator agreed. Zhu Yinshi shrugged. Zhu Yinshi shrugged and said, Judgment is the decision maker. She promised our ancestral dragon race, and we can't change her mind. In the end, the adjudicator still fought the master of the Milky Way and lost. From then on, the adjudicator never allowed anyone to interfere with the human race's matters. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. Anyway, after Lord Yi enters the ancestral dragon clan, you can head to the Elder Cabinet to understand more. I won't explain it one by one here. Zhu Yinshi shrugged. Then what does the void lineage mean? This, because we live in the black hole. Zhu Yinshi pointed at the black hole outside. Inside the black hole is the void, which is different from a human race. That's why you humans also call us the void lineage. Speaking of which, we're about to go into. Everyone, please get ready. There will be a temporary energy barrier later. You won't be able to see the light. Maybe your bodies will stand in certain situations, but these are all normal. Please don't worry too much. All right, we are about to enter the black hole. Chapter 2800. The huge black hole devoured all the light. All of a sudden, the entire cabin became completely dark. The endless darkness was like a nightmare that enveloped Yi Zichen's heart. The most important thing was the energy barrier. You were unable to use the power of the universe to investigate your surroundings in this pitch-black environment. All you got was darkness. There was no light at all. There was nothing you could do in this sort of situation, even if someone wanted to kill you. Can you guys hear me? Yi Zichen remained in his original position and shouted towards the surroundings. No one replied. The darkness had already lasted for over 3 minutes. At the very least, Yi Zichen counted to 180 in his heart. According to the speed of the warship, 3 minutes was already enough to cover the distance of a small solar system. However, the darkness continued, and the light had yet to arrive. Bailey, can you feel my consciousness? Yi Zichen tried to communicate with Bailey, but all he got in return was a long silence. At that very moment, Yi Zichen suddenly felt someone hug his waist. He elbowed Bailey out of reflex, then hurriedly left, knocking over the table in front of him. All right, we've already. The moment Yi Zichen stood up, light filled the cabin once again. Zhu Yunshur was still sitting in his original seat and looked at the mess in the cabin. Guys, what are you guys doing? Yi Zichen could clearly see the undisguised ridicule in his eyes. At that moment, Yi Zichen's body was covered in spilled fruit juice. Winnie and Alan were holding each other's arms. Su Yin and Xia Kiki were hugging each other. Sulu was holding Hua Jinro's arm, while Baiyu was stepping on the flame rat. Under Yi Zichen's seat was Meng Luo, who looked like she was about to cry. Great deity, why did you hit me? Meng Luo cried. Yi Zichen quickly ran over to help her up, while the others also let go of each other. Why did you come to my place? Yi Zichen did not hold back when he thought back to the elbow strike. I'm scared. Meng Luo looked like she was about to cry. There seemed to be a lot of people fighting over there. I don't know what happened, so I just followed around my memory. I wanted you to protect me. I finally managed to hug you, but you still hit me? I'm sorry. Yi Zichen smiled wryly. Susu, show Meng Luo. Lord Yi, your people are too cautious. Zhu Yunshur laughed bitterly. Didn't I say it very clearly just now? There's an energy barrier, and there's no light. As long as everyone stays where they are, there won't be any problems. Why are you so alert? Could it be that our ancestral dragon race can kill you? In this table, these are all very valuable things. Lord Yi, you're a Milky Way Lord after all. Don't you have this little bit of courage? You're so scared of this little darkness? Stop making sarcastic remarks. What was surprising was that just as he finished speaking, Baiyu creased his brows and walked over. Do you think we're funny? Energy shield, no light. Do you really think that we don't know anything? Do you think that we are all ordinary people? Baiyu walked in front of Zhu Yunshur and squinted his eyes. You're purposely doing this to make us panic internally. Do you think it's fun to watch us make a fool of ourselves? I don't know what this lady is talking about. Do you know who I am? Baiyu raised his eyebrows. How about I introduce our team to you? I'm Baiyu, and Fire God is my father. My father has stayed here for 2,000 years and traveled through time several 100 million times. This is the daughter of the Flower Emperor, that is the son of Sacred Fire, and the princess of the Spirit Rabbit race. So it's actually Fire God's woman. My apologies. I heard that your father became a supreme being, right? Yes. The son of a supreme being truly has a temper. What do you want to say to me now? Zhu Yunshur's gaze darkened. You want to say that your father stayed with the ancestral dragon race and went through black hole travel before, so he knows the situation? Then what did your father say? Black hole travel will make his energy barrier lose its light. What are you still doing here? But how much time do you need? Baiyu looked at him with a frown. You purposely stopped the warship within the black hole's range and only let it sail out after Yi Zichen flipped the table. Yet, you happily watched us all make a fool of ourselves. You stopped the warship. Meng Luo, who was still being healed by Su Yin, stood up and pointed at Zhu Yunshur angrily. No wonder. This lady always flew around the black hole outside my house to play. I've never been in a black hole for so long. I thought it was because the black hole here is bigger. Grandson, you're so bad. Who are you talking about? Zhu Yunshur frowned. What did you just say? I'm talking about you, grandson. What about it? Meng Luo's eyes were filled with rage. I'm talking about you. Zhu Yunshur, grandson, what do you want? Try and touch me. I'll give you 8 guts. Do you dare to touch me? Everyone else in the cabin was stunned by what they saw. What's going on? They got into a fight? What's more, it was the gentle Baiyu who started it, while the lively Meng Luo helped. You. Zhu Yunshur frowned. At that moment, Baiyu suddenly reached out his hand. Give it back. All of a sudden, everyone's expression froze. He lost something. No wonder Baiyu was so angry. Could Zhu Yunshur have taken her treasure in the black hole? The fire god doted on his daughter a lot. Apparently, all of her equipment was something that even sovereigns couldn't afford to wear. Every single one of them was priceless. Fire god's woman, don't go too far. Zhu Yunshur's gaze darkened. No matter what, I am the ruler of a country. What do you think I would take from you juniors? Are we normal juniors? Baiyu frowned. Give it back. Lil Bai, what did you lose? Hua Jinro frowned. The people of the ancestral dragon clan actually dared to steal. Tell your dad. I'll tell my dad. We have to get even with them. I didn't lose it. Bai Yu shook his head. Hua Jinro, who was about to cause trouble, was stunned. Yi lost it. What did I lose? Yi Zichen was confused. The ancestral dragon clan told him not to bring anything, so he didn't bring anything. He didn't even have a card on him. What did I take from the Milky Way Lord? Zhu Yinshi frowned. Bai Yu looked up at him arrogantly. Hurry up and take it out. Don't force me to slap you. No matter what, you are a ruler. It's rather embarrassing to be slapped. I'll give you 3 seconds. Don't force me. Chapter 2801. I'll slap you with my mouth wide open. It's rather interesting when I think about it. Earlier, Bai Yu and company all said that Yi Zichen was too tough. They mocked the world domination country's ruler. They weren't afraid of the world domination country making a move on him. Now, the true hero among women was Bai Yu, who couldn't pass on this responsibility. No matter how much Yi Zichen slandered the world domination country, at the very least, he didn't say that he was going to slap her. What's more, he maintained a safe distance to ensure that he wouldn't be crushed by the world domination country's ruler. He had good control over the distance. Then he looked at Bai Yu. She was so close to Zhu Yunshi's face, and she was really going to slap her. Hurry up. Bai Yu pointed at Zhu Yunshi with a frown. From her expression, Yi Zichen could tell that she was no longer threatening. She was really going to slap him. But Yi Zichen was truly confused. Just what did I lose? Bai Yu. Yi Zichen snuck up and muttered. Just what did I lose? I didn't bring anything. Take a good look. Bai Yu looked down. Yi Zichen pondered for a moment. Then he touched his chest. The points the ancestral dragon clan gave him after the trial ended. These points were recorded using an elite gemstone. According to the person who transmitted his voice, this gemstone was used to record the ancestral dragon clan's points. It could be used within the ancestral dragon clan. Could Zhu Yunshi have stolen this? After touching it for a while, Yi Zichen slowly reached out and took out a yellow gemstone. Bai Yu, you're here. Yi Zichen elbowed her. Take a look at the points inside. Bai Yu squinted her eyes. Bai Yu squinted his eyes. The points crystal is indeed there, but the points inside have probably been reset to 0. Or perhaps this stone has already been swapped. Yi Zichen did not doubt her answer. Yi Zichen did not suspect anything and immediately poured cosmic energy into the crystal. About half a minute later, the number of accumulated points was displayed above the crystal. 12. 2 simple numbers appeared on the top of the crystal. F*CK. Seeing that, Meng Luo, already charged over before Yi Zichen could say anything. You're so shameless. You're a sovereign. You stole her points? There's someone as perverted as you? Meng Luo bit her lip. Her face was covered in frost. Hurry up and give us back our points. How interesting. Zhu Yangshi's eyes were cold. What proof do you have that I swapped your crystals? You only have these points, and you want to swindle points from me? Not bad. It seems like you know the importance of points in the ancestral dragon clan. The people in the clan have told you a lot about the ancestral dragon clan, right? I have to remind you, or the elders in your clan, that this is against the rules. Who's breaking the rules? Bai Yu's eyes burned with white flames. We let you take our points, and now you're saying we tricked you? Everyone knows that we won the second round of the trial. We have 900,000 points. So what? Zhu Yinshi shrugged. You don't want to give it to me? You have to prove that I took it. Zhu Yinshi shrugged nonchalantly. You don't have any evidence. Do you think I'll give my points to you just based on your words? What a joke. You have to have our stones in your arms. Where's the evidence? Zhu Yinshi said in disdain. I have a lot of crystals here. As someone who was born and raised in the ancestral dragon clan, point crystals are like your human race's universal treasury card. Everyone can have a lot. I'm also a country lord, so do you think I can't have point crystals? What's more, point crystals are all the same. If you say it's yours, then it's yours. Bai Yu clenched his teeth, but was unable to say anything. I'll tell you, I really do have a 900,000 point crystal here. Zhu Yinshi raised his hand, and a crystal landed in his palm. After he activated it, a row of numbers appeared above it. The numbers were exactly the same as the one Yi Zichen and Bai Yu had. It was very clear that the crystal was theirs. However, Zhu Yunshi had made it very clear that if they wanted to prove that the crystal was theirs, they needed evidence. However, in the pitch-black environment just now, no one knew what had happened at all. Even Bai Li was unable to prove the situation at that time. Easy. Don't you have a time, elemental fairy? Make her retreat. Bai Yu frowned. Zhu Yunshi still didn't seem to mind. Don't think about it. You can't go back in time in the black hole. Even if you did, the scene there would still be pitch black. That can't prove anything to you at all. To be honest, I'm actually rather impressed. Zhu Yunshi shrugged with a chuckle. Zhu Yunshi shrugged with a chuckle. Looks like you've made ample preparations for our ancestral dragon clan. You know the importance of points, so you found the time to find me to obtain more points. If it's someone else, perhaps, due to your identity, you might just suffer in silence and admit defeat. What's more, it's just a few 100,000 points for supremacies. It's no big deal. Unfortunately, you ran into me. Zhu Yunshi leaned back in his chair. Zhu Yunshi leaned back in his chair, satisfied. I'm not afraid of your identities. I'm a reasonable person. If I didn't do it, then I didn't do it. If you want to slander me, you can go to the Elder Cabinet and report me. Let's see if the Elder Cabinet will believe me or believe the one-sided story of you little outsiders. You're seeking death. White flames burned on Bai Yu's body. Zhu Yunshi raised his eyebrows in disdain. What commander wants to attack the king? I admire your courage. You think I don't dare? Bai Yu was furious. Zhu Yunshi still didn't care. Don't be flustered and exasperated just because your lies were exposed. You don't have any. Just as Zhu Yunshi was giggling and speaking in a self-righteous tone, Bai Yu's burning palm slapped him in the face. He never thought that Bai Yu would actually dare to attack him. When the slap landed, Zhu Yunshi was stunned for a long while. He stared fixedly at Bai Yu, the anger in his eyes overflowing from his expression. King, he had been slapped, and he took the full brunt of it. I'll slap you just because I say so. Do you think I'm just saying that? Bai Yu squinted his eyes and glared at Zhu Yunshi. Let me tell you, Zhu Yunshi, we have a grudge now. I swear in the name of Fire God's daughter. Either you return the point stone to us right now and apologize to the people in the ship, or I will kill you. Chapter 28:02. An oath. In the universe, such oaths weren't made carelessly. This was because when they broke through, these oaths would turn into obsessions and become their nightmares. If they didn't deal with it, it was one thing to affect their breakthrough, but another possibility was death. Little White. Hua Jinro opened his eyes wide, filled with fear. The others in the cabin were the same. They couldn't believe Bai Yu would say such a thing. A grudge was formed, and it was so serious. Junior. Zhu Yunshi's arm violently trembled. This insult touched his soul. The human experts all had one thought. They could accept being insulted by their superiors. For example, if a monarch was slapped in the face by a venerable, they might feel resentment in their hearts. But they could accept it because they couldn't blame anyone else. If they had to blame someone, they could only blame themselves for not being strong enough. But he was humiliated by a junior. Furthermore, it was a commander-level junior who had forcefully slapped him, causing his face to burn with pain. Good, you're good, Zhu Yunshi muttered. I didn't want to care about you, but you asked for it. Bai Yu's expression was cold. You can also kill me. I'll accept your assassination. You don't look like you're going to return the crystals anyway, so we'll slowly watch. Relying on your father being Fire God. Don't mention my father. Bai Yu's eyes were filled with disdain. I really don't like you seniors finding excuses for yourselves. The problem is between the two of us. What does it have to do with my father? If I really wanted to rely on my father, do you think it would be as simple as a slap? You wouldn't even be alive right now, understand? Bai Yu pointed at Zhu Yunshi's nose. Bai Yu, I don't need to rely on my father. Just the two of us. I'll say it again. You can kill me if you dare, or if you can endure my father's anger. In the end, you're still relying on Fire God. No, I can't change my background. I'm Fire God's only daughter. I can't change that. I won't use my family's power, but my family will take care of me. I can't avoid this. Bai Yu slowly shook his head. Moreover, I'm a commander and you're a monarch. It's not too much for me to have some background, right? Not at all. Zhu Yinshi nodded slowly. At that moment, the warship stopped on a piece of land. I'll remember you too, daughter of the fire god. The cabin door opened, and Zhu Yinshi walked out of the cabin with a dark expression. He didn't even bother to guide Yi Zichen and company. He did not continue. Now that things had escalated to such an extent, he was also the monarch of a country, and he needed his reputation as well. How could he possibly pretend that nothing had happened? He continued to carry out his job. Zhu Yangshi's figure disappeared from everyone's sight. Baiyu tightly clenched his fists. Little White, Sister Baiyu, Baiyu. Everyone in the cabin gathered around him. Baiyu's actions just now were too different from hers. As for Hua Jinro, she had never seen Baiyu so domineering. Xiao Bai, what are you doing? In any case, he is still a monarch-level expert. Although he may not be considered a great senior in our family, this is not our family's territory. Hua Jinro frowned. She was truly worried for Baiyu. If they were on planet Een, everything would be fine. If anyone dared to bully the people in their group, they would just have to say the word. Even an overlord would have to come and apologize to them. But this was the ancestral dragon clan. The sky is high and the emperor is far away. Even if the people from their families were to be sent here, it would take at least a year. During this period of time, there would be too many variables. It's one thing to beat him up, but why did you have to swear an oath? You're about to be titled. Hua Jinro frowned and said, the title will involve the condensation of the god body. The oath you made just now will become your obsession. You're too impulsive. I know what I'm doing. Baiyu muttered. No, this isn't a question of whether or not there is a plan. Hua Jinro let out a long sigh. Why are you suddenly so impulsive? You were never like this in the past. Because of him, Baiyu wanted to blurt out, but then she glanced at Yi Zichen and pursed her lips. Nothing. Actually, the reason why Baiyu was so angry was because she saw Zhu Yinshi teasing Yi Zichen. It was as if he thought of Yi Zichen as a clown. She couldn't hold it in for a moment. Noticing Baiyu's expression, Hua Jinro seemed to understand and lightly sighed. It's fine. Zhu Yinshi, let's think of something together. I'll handle it myself. Baiyu said. What are you talking about? We are a team. Before Hua Jinro finished, Yi Zichen also nodded. That's right, this Zhu Yinshi is going up against our group. Don't worry, we have all the time in the world to play with him. Yeah, Meng Luo giggled. Big sis Baiyu, did that slap feel good? I wanted to slap him too, but I didn't dare to. Meng Luo's voice was low. She was afraid that Zhu Yinshi would fight back. I don't feel anything, just thick skin, Baiyu replied. But from his actions just now, I can tell that these points are very important. That is for sure. Yi Zichen nodded. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble to take them away. I've already contacted the family, Yi Zichen nodded. At this moment, Hua Jinro squinted her eyes and said, I told my father just now. My father was very angry when he found out. He's going to send 15 sovereigns and 3 overlords over to the ancestral dragon clan. Isn't that Zhu Yinshi very cocky? He thinks that he's really amazing just because he's a country lord. I'm worth it for the sovereigns to come. Is there a need to be so exaggerated? Yi Zichen was shocked. 15 sovereigns and 3 overlords. Just what kind of family is Hua Jinro's family? What's more, wouldn't sending so many sovereigns affect their family? Then I'll get the family to send some people over as well. Meng Luo pursed her lips. Then I'll get my mom to send some people over as well. Meng Luo pursed her lips. Then I'll get my mom to send some people. Is 10 sovereigns enough? The flame rat muttered. Yi Zichen's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. In just a short while, 60 sovereigns and overlords are going to come to the ancestral dragon clan. Yao beasts. Just what kind of deities are these second-generation heirs? It's way too stressful to be with them. I'll get my family to send some people over as well. Baiyu frowned, but I don't really want my family to know. Come, scare him to death. Didn't he remember you? Let's make him remember. Hua Jinro frowned deeply. Yi Zichen. Deities stop. Chapter 28:03. It was said that the universe's second generations couldn't be provoked. These words were not false. Putting everyone else aside, just Hua Jinro and the others alone would be enough for the family to deploy dozens of supremacies and overlords. What kind of energy was this? Yi Zichen didn't even dare to imagine such a scene. It was too extravagant. Bai Yu seemed to be hesitating. Hua Jinro raised her hand and patted her shoulder. You have to tell me. Bai Yu, we aren't the ones stirring up trouble. The ancestral dragon race is bullying us. Hua Jinro said seriously. The points that we worked so hard to obtain were snatched away by that bastard. He even threatened us. Look at his eyes. It seems like he wants to kill us. We have to resist. Yes, resist. Meng Luo wrinkled her nose and exited the virtual network. I've already said it. The family feels that 30 supremacies might not be enough to fight against the ancestral dragon tribe. They said that they will send 45 supremacies and 200 country lords. If it's not enough, they will send more. Yi Zichen, that's what I said. The Flame Red also raised his hand and said, everyone in my family is using it now. My mother said that the ancestral dragon clan is bullying us and we can't let them do as they please. My clan has 15 venerables and 70 lords. Yi Zichen, then, Bai Yu frowned. Before he could say anything, Meng Luo blinked. Hey, big sister Bai Yu, my father just told me that Uncle Fire God has already sent people out. It seems that your mother brought people here personally. 1/3 of the Fire God races, Venerable and Monarch, are here. Isn't there going to be 60 to 70 supremacies? That's too many. Bai Yu cried out. Yi Zichen, 1/3 of them are 60 to 70 sovereigns. What the hell were these families doing? To tell the truth, Yi Zichen was truly flabbergasted. Little did he know, Winnie and Aylin's situation wasn't much different. The power of the second generation. How terrifying. Immortals. Yi Zichen coughed. Wouldn't having so many overlord sovereigns affect your family's internal situation? We're going to war now. Didn't they say that the deployment of supremacies and overlords would affect the overall situation? Don't worry, they are our spies. Hua Jinro shrugged. Huh, spies. Yeah. Meng Luo blinked with a smile and said, our families have been secretly nurturing talents since tens of thousands of years ago. Back then, the human race was about to change. The 4 of us discussed it in secret. At that time, we were not even born. Our parents weren't even born yet, right, Sister Hua? Bai Yu's father seems to be here already. Hua Jinro muttered. It was a long time ago anyway. Meng Luo said with a smile. These people were not in the open. Their departure won't affect the situation at all. It's just that part of them might be exposed this time. A part? Yeah, that's not all. Go to hell. So what if he was a galactic lord? Now that their Milky Way galaxy had 10-odd sovereigns, Yi Zichen felt pretty amazing. Now that he thought about it, he didn't even have as many spies as the other party. So many of you are here to attack the ancestral dragon clan. Yi Zichen frowned. Ding dong. Yi Zi, your sister is video calling you. At that moment, Bailey came out and whispered to Yi Zichen's shoulder. Which sister? The hot-tempered big sister. Hurry up and accept. Hot-tempered. It was definitely Venerable Spirit Phoenix. The video call was accepted. The video showed the Spirit Phoenix waving towards Yi Zichen. The background of the video seemed to be Wen Li's temporary imperial residence. Lil bro, can you see big sister? I'm with your big sister, Wen Li, right now. As soon as she finished speaking, a breathtakingly beautiful woman walked over to Venerable Spirit Phoenix's side. Lord Yi, big sister Wen Li, big sister Spirit Phoenix. Yi Zichen nodded. Just now, the ancestral dragon clan broke the rules, right? Wen Li squinted her eyes and said softly, I heard your points were taken away by the ancestral dragon clan. How did you guys know? It hasn't even been 5 minutes. Why does it seem like the entire universe knows? Bai Yu's father contacted me, Wen Li replied. Then she looked towards Bai Yu. Very domineering. You have the demeanor of your father, the fire god. Hearing Wen Li's praise, Bai Yu lowered his head with a blush. The reason we're calling you right now is to ask you guys. The ancestral dragon clan did indeed take your points, right? They stole your points without you knowing, and they refused to admit it. Wen Li asked. Yes. Meng Luo nodded. Is there any proof? She didn't expect Wen Li to ask for proof as well. Then, Ling Feng twitched her mouth. What proof do I need? I've disliked the Ancestral Dragon Clan for a long time. I'll just send people to get rid of them. They're the ones who chased me out the last time I went to the Ancestral Dragon Clan. Otherwise, I'll just tear down their divine temple. Yi Zichen's expression darkened. From Big Sister Lingfeng's tone, it seems like she caused quite a bit of trouble in the Ancestral Dragon Clan as well. The Ancestral Dragon Clan has a special status. They can't act recklessly. When they glanced at Lingfeng, then turned towards Yi Zichen and company, I don't need actual proof. I just need you guys to confirm whether or not there is, and whether or not you saw it with your own eyes. I saw it. Bai Yu fiercely looked up. I control my family's divine flame. Even when passing through a black hole, the flame can sense its surroundings. My flame clearly reported to me that the people of the Ancestral Dragon Clan had swapped Ye's crystal. When they heard Bai Yu's reply, everyone in the cabin looked at her. No wonder she was so sure at that time. Even Yi Zichen didn't know, but she knew it very well. Divine flame, as expected of a divine flame. Very good. Since Bai Yu can confirm it, then the evidence is enough. Wenli pursed her lips and laughed. In a while, our Virtual World Corporation will send 200 supremacies to the Ancestral Dragon Tribe. Your brother Londi will also send 150. Both our families will also bring 2,000 lords to the Ancestral Dragon Tribe. Ah, brother, our Milky Way isn't bad either. I'll send some people over later. Not too many. 30 to 50 supremacies shouldn't be a problem. Don't think that our Milky Way isn't good enough. Venerable Spirit Phoenix consoled. Yi Zichen was even more confused. Wait, aren't we going to war with the Sanyue Galaxy? You guys, we won't be fighting for a while, muttered Wenli. We just received some news, so we need to confirm it. What's more, the people we're sending over won't affect the current situation at all. You guys are secretly training them as well? That's right. Wenli's reply was non-committal. Anyway, Nine Faces will add you to the virtual network's contact details in a bit. She'll talk to you later. Your big sister Spirit Phoenix and I have some business to take care of, so that's it for now. Just as the screen was about to close, Wenli suddenly spoke up. Remember, if we don't cause trouble, we won't be afraid of trouble. If the Ancestral Dragon Clan bullies us, then we'll just go all out and fight them. Don't be afraid. The person behind this team of yours can go against the entire universe. Chapter 2804. The video ended. Yi Zichen's head buzzed as he stood in the cabin. What's going on? The situation changed. Didn't they start a war with the Sanyue Galaxy not long ago? Wenli actually said that they wouldn't be able to start a war in the near future, and that they were going to fight the Ancestral Dragon Clan, the Virtual World Corporation, and the Universe Union Bank. 350 sovereigns, 2,000 country lords. The four clans of planet Een sent nearly 150 sovereigns and a few hundred country lords. Just because Zhu Yunshi stole the crystals? Or perhaps it could be said that he had threatened Bai Yu to the point where a single hair on one part would affect the entire body. Everyone would enter the battle. Oh my god, Leader Wenli is so domineering. Coco looked at Meng Luo and the others in the cabin in shock. Our team can actually go against the entire universe? Really? What kind of background do you guys have? Not sure. Hua Jianro shook her head. Don't know. The Flame Rat shrugged. Don't know. Bai Yu shrugged. Don't know. Meng Luo started to pretend to be her favorite naive self. From their answers, it was clear that the four clans had great powers behind them. What's more, it definitely wasn't as simple as it seemed on the surface. Or rather, people would consider the powers behind them. But it was far more powerful than anyone could imagine. What's more, from Leader Wenli's words, it was clear that the four clans of Planet Een were on the same side as the Virtual World Corporation. This could be seen from the fact that Vulcan had contacted Wenli as soon as something had happened. All of the major powers were in contact with each other. Although Fire God said that he was going to guard the outer space, Fire God was more inclined towards the Virtual World Corporation. Actually, you guys really don't need to consider us. Hua Jinro smiled. We're definitely on Yi Zi's side. What's more, Leader Wenli just said that our team has the power to fight against the universe, but that doesn't mean we can win against the entire universe. What's more, it can be seen from the people we sent just now that the big shots are still the two giants. That's right. Our family can't compare to the giants. Bayou also nodded with a smile. Look at this. Is this even human speech? Our family can't compare to the 8 giants of the universe. Everyone knew that the 8 giants represented the 8 powers of the universe. They were also one of the 8 most powerful organizations in the universe. Even if it was a first-rate family, the gap between them and the giants was like the distance between heaven and earth. This could be seen from the attachment of the family. Depending on a first-tier family was a second-tier family, but depending on a first-tier family was a first-tier family. It was clear who was superior. However, to Yi Zichen's surprise, he really hadn't expected to cause such a huge commotion. It felt like the target of the crusade had changed in an instant. Could it be that the Virtual World Corporation had long wanted to make a move on the Ancestral Dragon Clan? He just couldn't find a suitable reason. Now that the Ancestral Dragon Clan had intentionally broken the rules, it was exactly what the Virtual World Corporation wanted. Then, the 4 great clans followed suit and sent their troops. Wenli also came along to join in the fun. Although she had addressed Zhu Ying as Big Sister before, it seemed like their relationship wasn't very harmonious. If they really got along, she would not go to the extent of coming to the Virtual World Corporation to scam people. EZ, your sister has sent you a friend request, Bailey reported. Ooh, verify the information. Your sister is here. I don't know who she is. It's probably the 9-faced hegemon. His consciousness entered the virtual network and added friends. Not long after, he received a video call. As expected, there were no surprises on the screen. It was the 9-faced hegemon. Lil Yizi. The lowly 9-faced hegemon waved her hand with a smile. In the video call, she tilted her head and looked around, as if she was looking at everyone in the cabin. You're all here. Greetings, 9-faced hegemon. The people in the cabin greeted her. The 9-faced hegemon waved her hand with a smile. You don't need all this with me. Big Sister Wenli told me to contact you. You know that, right? I know. Yi Zichen nodded. Now we're out. I have to go to the Universe Union Bank first and meet up with their hegemon. Then we'll head to the Ancestral Dragon Clan's territory together. Big Sister 9-faced is coming as well? Of course I'm coming. They won't be afraid unless someone tough comes. What's more, if I don't come, who's going to take care of these 200 sovereigns? The 9-faced hegemon giggled. I miss you too. I want to see you again. F***CK. The 9-faced hegemon had arrived in person. From what she said, the Universe Union Bank had also sent a hegemon to lead the team. They were definitely no ordinary people. Someone who could command over 100 sovereigns and make them obey willingly had to have a high position in the Universe Union Bank. Big Sister, can I ask something? Go on. Are we declaring war on the Ancestral Dragon Clan? Declaring war? I didn't receive any news about that. The 9-faced hegemon was stunned. Did Big Sister Wenli tell you that we're declaring war on the Ancestral Dragon Clan? Not really, Yi Zichen frowned. Big Sister Wenli said that we don't need to be afraid of trouble if we don't cause trouble. She said that the person behind our team is capable of going against the entire universe. Ah, that's it. Big Sister Wenli isn't wrong. The 9-faced hegemon shrugged. The 9-faced overlord shrugged. Isn't your team composed of Planet Yin's 4 ancestors? Hegemon, please don't say that. Even Hua Jinro blushed when she heard that. That's our slogan when we were young. Haha, that's a very vivid description. The 9-faced hegemon laughed. The 9-faced overlord laughed out loud. Aren't the few of you the 4 ancestors? Whoever bumps into you will be in deep trouble. Now that you're playing with Yi Zi, you're the 5 ancestors of the universe. Anyone who bumps into you will be in big trouble. This time, the unlucky ones are the Ancestral Dragon Clan. Hey, Yi Zichen was confused. What did that have to do with him? Why'd he end up in this group as well? Big Sister, then what are we going to do? It's like this. We're going to build a few space stations around the Ancestral Dragon Clan. The 9-faced hegemon didn't hide anything. The Ancestral Dragon Clan has always been a thorn in the side of the human race. The 8 heads of the universe have already voted on this operation at the octagonal table and unanimously approved it. Unanimously. This sort of scene was rather rare. Everyone knew that the human race was split into 3 factions. The fact that they could all agree to this operation meant that the ancestral dragon clan's influence on the human race was severe. We didn't have an excuse before, but now we have one. Nine-faced Hegemon laughed. This is all thanks to Baiyu. You found such a great opportunity. But Zhuing, I don't think you're that stupid. Either way, the timing is perfect. We have enough of an excuse to head towards them. We'll be in place in about 2 years. As for you guys, you have a mission as well. What mission? It's to cause trouble in the ancestral dragon clan and cause them to break the rules. To put it simply, you guys can play around as much as you want. If anything goes wrong, we'll beat them up. If nothing goes wrong, then they'll just endure it. Since you guys are the ones enjoying it, don't worry. Do whatever we want. Meng Luo's eyes lit up. Don't worry, just cause trouble. Didn't Big Sister Wenli say that you guys have a power that can go against the universe behind you? What's there to be afraid of? Nine-faced Hegemon's eyes also revealed a devilish glint. Do it. Chapter 28:05. This was a good job. To put it bluntly, he just had to pretend in the ancestral dragon clan. Whoever dared to move would be beaten up. That's pretty much what it meant. Yi Zichen reckoned that there shouldn't be any problems with his understanding. Sister Nine Faces. I'm here, my dear little brother Galactic Lord. The nine-faced Hegemon seemed to enjoy hearing Yi Zichen call her big sister, as if she felt a great sense of accomplishment. She remembered when they first met. When she heard Yi Zichen call her senior and big sister, she was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth. Sis, are we going to start now? Act, the nine-faced overlord said with a straight face. Aren't you at the ancestral dragon tribe now? You bully the men and take women by force. You're arrogant and despotic. You could do whatever you want. But you guys aren't 2 years old. Don't panic out. The nine-faced overlord in the video widened his eyes. I'm guessing that Zhu Ying already knows about this. She'll definitely know that we've already sent out our troops. She's in the wrong, you know. She wouldn't dare to do anything to you. On the other hand, if you were to throw a tantrum, she would have to endure it. If she really dares to touch you, our human race will really take care of her. Back then, your master could beat her to the point that she didn't dare to leave the ancestral dragon tribe's black hole for 3,000 years. Now, your sister Wenli and brother Londi can beat her to the point that she can't retaliate. She can't defeat sister Wenli and brother Londi? Are you kidding me? How could she do that? The nine-faced overlord looked as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. There are some things that I can't tell you too much about. The current sister Wenli and the leader of the Blue Emperor have long surpassed the Milky Way master of the past. If you want to take care of Zhu Ying, it would be a piece of cake. Let's not talk about anything else. The fire god beat her up. Forget it. The fire god thinks too highly of her. Even your big sister Nine-Face, I would have no problem taking him on. Even the nine-faced Hegemon could give Zhu Ying a 46. Wasn't Zhu Ying a supreme being? Wasn't the difference between a peak overlord and a supreme being like the difference between heaven and earth? How could something like this happen? Moreover, the master of the Milky Way was able to deal with Zhu Ying back then. But after so many years, could it be that Zhu Ying's strength had not changed at all? Sister, the ancestral dragon clan is very powerful. Last time, during my trial, they threw a black hole into the dark universe. Moreover, they created many camps that could provide many experts. I know. The nine-faced overlord laughed. This is also the reason why we humans have never touched them. It's because they're managers, and they have some abilities and authority that humans do not have. But this time, it's different. The human race has the strength, and Sister Wenli has found out some important things. Sangyu has also agreed not to make any big moves in the short term. Now, the big shots and the supreme beings are holding an octagonal table conference, and the human race is stable. Moreover, they were in the wrong first. They broke the rules they set, so they can't blame us for breaking the rules. The nine-faced overlord continued after he finished speaking. Being able to monitor the ancestral dragon clan has been our human race's wish for tens of thousands of years. Now, we finally have an opportunity. Just go ahead and cause trouble. If anyone really bullies you, Big Sister will come and avenge you. That's it. I'm hanging up. The scene stopped abruptly. Everyone instinctively looked towards Yi Zichen. This video call had exposed too much information. The ancestral dragon clan did not dare to touch them. There was a temporary peace within the human race. Both sides decided not to go to war for now. Yi Z, your sister sent you a message again. What news? A voice message. Do you want to play it publicly? Play it, right? I forgot to tell you something just now. Your points are very important. I'll send you an exchange code in a bit, so you can go to the Ancestral Dragon Clan's Heaven and Earth Trading Company to exchange for it. The more points you have, the more invincible you'll be in the Ancestral Dragon Clan. Simply put, points are equivalent to status. Remember, don't waste points when you don't have to. Of course, it's not absolute, but it's up to you. Finally, Yi Z, Big Sister loves you. The first few messages were normal, but what the hell was with the last one? Yi Zichen's expression darkened. Then he saw Xia Kiki glare at him threateningly. No, Nine-Faced Overlord has nothing to do with me. Love or not. Xia Kiki shrugged. Susu said that even if you do, it doesn't matter. We won't exclude anyone. In any case, we already have so many. 1 or 2 more won't make a difference. With that, she intentionally glanced at Baiyu. The meaning of his words was clear and obvious. Baiyu blushed, then pursed his lips and lowered his head. All of a sudden, the entire cabin was filled with a charming atmosphere. Ahem. Yi Zichen coughed. Let's talk about points. We only have 12 points right now. Nine-Faced Overlord said that he left some for us. Should we go now? We can go, but who knows where it is? Hua Jinro pointed outside the cabin. We seem to be in a desert. We've never been to the Ancestral Dragon Clan, so we don't know how big this place is. That Zhu Yunshi should be the leader, but he ran away out of guilt. We can't just run around randomly right now. That's right. Su Lu. Crossed her arms and sat on the sofa. I think we should wait here for a bit. Didn't Nine-Faced Overlord say that Zhu Ying should know about that? Then she will definitely send someone to get us. At that moment, in the judgment hall, Zhu Yunshi knelt on the ground with thumb-sized bloody holes all over his body. Idiot! Zhu Ying, who stood in front of him, slapped him again. Do you know what you're doing? Sire, didn't you tell me to take back their points no matter what? Zhu Yunshi knelt on the ground and trembled. This subordinate did as you said and switched their points. You're still talking back. Boom! Countless vines appeared from the ground and instantly pierced through Zhu Yunshi's body. I told you to take them back. I'm not telling you to rob. I'm telling you to steal. Take them back? You can take them to the casino. You can take them to the lottery. You can take them to spend money. You have all sorts of ways to get them back, but what did you do? I switched their points, and someone found out. Zhu Ying trembled in anger. Why did I raise an idiot like you? Yi Zichen slapped him again. Zhu Yunshi's head spun a few times. Sire, they just found out. It's not like they have any proof, Zhu Yunshi said anxiously. Zhu Yunshi said anxiously. It's actually nothing much. They're just suffering in silence. What else can they do? This is the Ancestral Dragon Clan. Would they dare to attack us? You think they wouldn't dare? The moment Zhu Ying's words landed, a silhouette appeared in the hall. Judge, speak. I've just received news. From the human race's planet Een, the Virtual World Corporation's main planet and the Universe Union Bank's main planet. A total of 400 knights and 2,900 country lords have been dispatched. Amongst them, 300 of them are going through space towards our Ancestral Dragon Clan. The other 100 are going with the country lords, with the Virtual World Corporation's Nine-Faced Overlord as the leader. They seem to be gathering in 3 different directions. Immediately, the kneeling Zhu Yunshi's face turned ashen. This. All right, I understand. You can leave. Zhu Ying waved his hand lightly. Zhu Yunshi's expression grew more and more fearful. Sire, did you hear that? They've already sent out their troops. They're all knights and country lords. What do you think a country lord is? You even dared to bully Fire God's daughter and come to me to complain. Zhu Yunshi, you should be thankful that Fire God's daughter wants to kill you personally. Otherwise, you'd be dead by now. Zhu Ying pointed at Zhu Yunshi's head and roared. Scram! Zhu Yunshi scrambled away. Zhu Ying squinted his eyes and muttered. Zhu Yunjio. Your subordinate is here. Look after Zhu Yunshi. Don't let him escape. But don't let him die at the hands of Fire God's daughter. Yes. Also, find someone to receive them. Do we need to compensate them? No. Zhuing shook his head. If we compensate them, wouldn't it mean that we're the ones who took the points? Just bring them into the clan. We don't care about anything else. Yes. Go do it. Waving his hand, Zhuing watched as Zhu Yunji disappeared from the room and sat down. Wenli, you really are my good sister. Chapter 2806. The cabin door was locked. The warship was parked in the wilderness. None of the people in the cabin dared to wander around outside. Meng Luo wanted to go out. She looked like a little girl, but she seemed to have a heart that yearned for adventure. It didn't matter if she was a stranger or not. She wanted to go out and see. To put it nicely, she wanted to adventure. Or perhaps it really was because she'd been locked up on Planet Een for too long that she wanted to see more of the unknown. But she was caught. Just as she was about to sneak out, Yi Zichen grabbed her by the clothes, then closed the cabin door to prevent any accidents from happening. At the same time, he also prevented the little girl's adventurous spirit from running around. Meng Luo was very depressed after being caught. She lowered her head and sat on the sofa sulkily. From time to time, she glanced outside with a yearning look in her eyes. Don't look outside. Yi Zichen, who'd been staring at Meng Luo, walked up and patted her head. Do you know what's out there? Just run. Adventure is about not knowing anything. Danger and opportunity coexist for it to be interesting, Meng Luo retorted. Meng Luo raised her head and retorted, If I knew everything, then what kind of adventure would it be? Isn't life important? Yi Zichen smiled wryly. It is, Meng Luo replied confidently. But we humans need to have an adventurous spirit in order to become peerless experts. Otherwise, think about it. When those secret realms first appear, if we don't take risks, then how will we obtain the treasures inside? Do you think this place looks like a secret realm? When she heard Meng Luo's fallacious reasoning, even Hua Jinro walked up speechlessly. It's just a desert. You can't just look at things on the surface, Meng Luo replied seriously. Meng Luo answered seriously. Think about it. Which of the human race's mystic realms can be recognized at a glance? They are all in mysterious space, or on uninhabited planets, or around black holes. I think there will be treasures in this desert. We can really sob. Let's eat some snacks. Hua Jinro covered Meng Luo's mouth. Let's talk about adventure later. Meng Luo, don't throw a tantrum like a child. Now that we are in the ancestral dragon clan, even if we really want to take the risk, we need to have a basic understanding of this place. This desert was stopped by that scum, Zhu Yunshi. That bastard, who knows where he'll land us. What if we encounter demonic beasts when we go out? Hua Jinro frowned and comforted him softly. If we die now, we might fall into the ancestral dragon clan's trap. They can say that we accidentally walked into some forbidden area. Little did they know that those wild beasts might have been released by them. Well, I'll give you a like. Yi Zichen raised his thumb with a smile when he heard Hua Jinro's explanation. You really think the same way as me. Right now, the desert looked ordinary, and there were no signs of demonic beast activity. But the more it was like this, the more uneasy he felt. Who knew if that Zhu Ying would do something in the dark? The ancestral dragon race would have a sufficient excuse if they would go down and get killed. So, Yi Zichen intentionally locked all the cabin doors. It was also to prevent those things from happening. All right. Meng Luo hesitated for a while before letting out a sigh. She was not an absolutely willful child. She just liked adventures and wanted to go out and have a look. Let's see what's like outside. However, since Hua Jinro and the others had already reached this point, she could not continue to persist. Don't be depressed. There will be plenty of opportunities for you to go on adventures in the future. Don't worry, I'll definitely take you on adventures in the future. You always say that. Meng Luo twitched her mouth, as if she didn't really believe Yi Zichen's words. At that time, they said that they wanted to go to the campsite for an adventure, but changed their minds halfway through. Ha ha ha, you little brat. Don't worry, I definitely won't let you be bored. Meng Luo wrinkled her nose and said nothing else. However, This ancestral dragon clan does not seem to be small. At this moment, Bayou walked over. Even with my cosmic energy, I can't see the end of this desert. I can't see it either. When he came up, this desert seems to have no end. No matter how far I go, it's just a desert. You can't see it either? Yi Zichen frowned. It was fine if it was Bayou, since she was a commander level, and her strength was at the beginner level. Winnie, on the other hand, was different. Her Duke-level cosmic energy scan could cover almost half a solar system. She couldn't even see the end of the desert. Just how big is this desert? Or rather, just how big is the ancestral dragon clan? We made the right decision not to go out, Su Yin said softly. I used my life energy to sense it just now. The aura here doesn't seem to be the aura of a normal life form. There's a very strange feeling inside that I can't describe. There must be treasures inside. Meng Luo pursed her lips. Have your ass. Hua Jianro patted Meng Luo. Don't think about those nonsensical things anymore. Even if there really is treasure inside, we can't go out. I'm just saying. Meng Luo replied angrily, then sat back down. His eyes were fixed on the depths of the desert, and his gaze was filled with determination. There must be. I wonder what the ancestral dragon clan is doing. Why hasn't anyone come to pick us up yet? Hua Jianro frowned and looked outside the cabin. We've been here for 3 hours. To be precise, it's 3 hours, 13 minutes, and 27 seconds. Bell replied. Why aren't they here yet? Does the ancestral dragon clan want us to die in the desert? Hua Jinro's tone was a little indignant. It looks like it's going to get dark. Yeah, it's dark. The flame rat raised its eyebrows. Aren't we in the space inside the black hole? There's actually a sun here. Who knows? Hua Jianro was not too interested in these things. I want to leave this place as soon as possible. Don't you think this place gives off a bad vibe? There are treasures inside. Meng Luo shouted. Yes, yes, yes. Don't mention treasures. Hua Jinro looked helpless. Now it's... someone's coming. Before he could finish his sentence, everyone looked at the void outside the cabin. A strong figure charged towards them. Be careful. This is the first person we met after our conflict with the ancestral dragon clan. Be careful. There's no harm. Chapter 28:07. Everyone nodded. Everyone stood in the cabin. Even when they saw someone arrive, they did not open the cabin door. Approximately a few minutes later, that lithe figure arrived in front of them. At that moment, everyone noticed that he did not fly over but stood on a longsword. He wore a white robe and a longsword. Just like an ancient sword immortal. Zhu Yinshi, he still dares to come. Hua Jinro glared and pointed at the person outside the cabin with a frown. Why did he come back? The flame rat muttered. This Zhu Yinshi left them here not long ago, yet he returned after a few hours. Could he be here to apologize? Bayou muttered. The nine-faced overlord mentioned that. The ancestral dragon clan would receive news of their attack soon. Now that Zhu Yinshi has returned, could he be here to apologize? Return the points. TSK, we won't accept an apology. Hua Jinro glared. We already have a grudge with him. How can an apology solve it? What's more, if he truly apologizes and returns the points, should we kill him or not? That's true. The flame rat nodded. My mother told me about the universe's karma theory. If the ancestral dragon clan doesn't return the points to us, then all of us have karma. That way, we can deal with that Zhu Yinshi together. But if he returns the points and apologizes, then the karma will end. Then, only by you, Jiz's oath will mean that we cannot interfere. Yeah, Hua Jinro nodded seriously. Hua Jinro nodded seriously. She had also heard this from her father. So, we definitely cannot accept his apology. Tell him to F***CK off. He's standing on a flying sword. What's there to be arrogant about? Hua Jinro shouted. At the same time, the man on the flying sword slowly landed on the ground, then bowed towards Yi Zichen and company in the cabin to greet them. Your Majesty Yi, I am your guide to the ancestral dragon clan. Please leave the cabin and follow me to the ancestral dragon clan's residence. The man's tone was calm. He was completely different from the previous Zhu Yinshi. When Hua Jinro heard this, she was so angry that she almost exploded. Not long ago, she had stolen their stone, and now she was acting as if nothing had happened. Did they really think that their memories had deteriorated? Did they really think that they had forgotten everything after such a short while? Get lost. Let me tell you, we are enemies now. Just wait for your death. Hua Jinro transmitted angrily. The pink-faced young man outside was stunned for a while, and then he smiled as if he had recovered from his shock. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Zhu Yun-san. I heard that you guys had some conflict with Zhu Yun-sure, but I'm not him. Do you think we're retarded? Hua Jinro frowned. In just 3 hours, you've become Zhu Yun-san. Doesn't that mean there's still Zhu Yunxi and Zhu Yunba? Are you all twins? Yes. Zhu Yunsan did not comment on Hua Jinro's words. We have a total of 10 brothers, all of whom were created by Lord Adjudicator Zhu Ying. I'm the third oldest, and the 7 and 8 that you mentioned do indeed exist. What the hell? Hua Jinro was stunned for a moment, then tilted her head towards Yi Zichen. Do you believe that this person said that they are twins? I think so. Suyin pursed her lips. This person's life aura is different from the previous ones. His aura and appearance can be changed, but his life aura cannot be hidden. He is indeed not the same person. But they are from the same brood. Meng Luo walked out with a look of disdain. A brood of bastards. AI, didn't you guys pay attention to what he said? He just said that the 10 brothers were created by Zhu Ying. Created. The flame rat said with a serious expression. The ancestral dragon clan is able to create country lord-level experts, and they seem to do it in batches. What's so strange about that? Xia Kiki muttered. Didn't we have a camp before as well? They might have been produced by the camp. That's why he said they were created. But they have intelligence, the flame rat muttered as he pointed at the person outside. The flame rat pointed at the person outside and whispered, Look, he has the ability to think independently. The battleships that were born in our camp were all instilled with fixed thinking. It might be high-quality goods, Xia Kiki said. Everyone nodded lightly, feeling that such a statement was not impossible. But if that was really the case, then the ancestral dragon clan's internal strength was not simple. If they really wanted to start a war with them, they would have to think about it. Perhaps their top fighting strength was insufficient. It was just as the nine-faced overlord had said. Even Zhu Ying was weaker than Winnie and Blue Emperor. Even the nine-faced overlord would have a 40 to 60 chance of winning against Zhu Ying. But they had the production chain. They could create country lords, kings, dukes, and even sovereigns in batches. If these people all had the ability to think independently, then it would be very difficult to attack the ancestral dragon clan. This was because it took a long time for the human race to produce a single sovereign, but the ancestral dragon clan could produce many of them every day. Even if it was a war of attrition, the human race might not be able to match the ancestral dragon clan. The human race had a lot of people, but the ancestral dragon clan had a lot as well. If the production chain produced 10 sovereigns in a day and they self-destructed, the human universe would be able to deal with them. Easy, should we go? While everyone was discussing, Baiyu softly asked. Yes. Yi Zichen considered for a moment. No matter what this person's relationship with Zhu Yushi is, the ancestral dragon clan sent him to be our guide, so we can't waste time here. If we refuse, will the ancestral dragon clan make an issue out of it and say that they had nothing to do with us rejecting their guidance? Also, this Zhu Yushi, it doesn't seem like he's here to silence us. Like we said, it's getting dark, and the atmosphere here is very strange. How about we just go with him? You're the captain, so we'll listen to you. Hua Jinro smiled. You're the captain, so we'll listen to you. Hua Jinro smiled. Wow, Big Sister Hua actually admitted that the great god is the captain. How strange. Meng Luo was shocked. I just don't want to be the scapegoat. Hua Jinro shrugged. Also, there's nothing good about being the captain. There are so many things, and I have to think about them. I'll just be a small team member. Isn't that good? Liar. Meng Luo twitched her mouth. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. What? What could I be thinking? Hua Jinro paused. See, I was right. Meng Luo wrinkled her nose. Meng Luo wrinkled her nose. Let me tell you, my eyes are very powerful. Don't say that. Hua Jinro frowned. All right, Stop messing around. Yi Zichen frowned. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and muttered when he saw the commotion in the cabin. Open the cabin. Let's go with him. Chapter 28:08. Outside the cabin. Seeing the cabin open, Zhu Yunsen sheathed his sword and stood far away. As expected, Winnie and Aelin walked out first. After scanning the surroundings with his cosmic energy, he returned to Yi Zichen's side and locked on his Zhu Yunsan to monitor his every move. What was surprising was that Zhu Yisan was not a sovereign, but a king-ranked martial artist. His realm was also high, third layer of king level. Even so, Zhu Yunsan was still stronger than Winnie and Aelin. It was very impolite for a junior to use his aura to lock onto a senior. It was just that the current situation was special. The people they needed to protect were the Galactic Lords. He believed that the ancestral dragon race also knew the status and importance of the Milky Way overlords in the universe. If they could understand this and not harbor any ulterior motives, they would not fuss over this. Sure enough, Zhu Yunsan didn't say anything after sensing the cosmic energy probe. He glanced at Winnie and Aelin, then smiled, cupped his hands, and walked up to Yi Zichen. His tone and expression were both grateful. Your Holiness Yi, thank you very much for your trust. You know me. It was Yi Zichen's first time meeting Zhu Yunsan, so he was a bit surprised that Zhu Yunsan recognized him. Your Holiness Yi Qingyu, your question is not up to standard. How many people in the human universe wouldn't know that you're the Milky Way Lord? At that time, you inherited the new Milky Way with your identity as the reincarnation of the Milky Way Master. This caused an uproar in the human universe. But not many people believe that I am the Master of the Galaxy. Yi Zichen smiled wryly. Yi Zichen had indeed taken the stage as the reincarnation of the Lord of the Milky Way. But then he discovered that practically all the other experts seemed to know his identity was fake. They treated him like a student of the Master of the Galaxy. None of the experts thought that he was the Master of the Galaxy. Those who might believe Yi Zichen was the Master of the Galaxy were relatively weak. They weren't well informed about the universe. Of course, the Milky Way Master is still alive. How could he reincarnate? Zhu Yunsan replied with a smile. In an instant, the expressions of the people in the group turned cold. He's still alive. Your ancestral dragon race knows the location of the Milky Way Master? Yi Zichen asked. I do not know. Zhu Yunsan smiled bitterly. Then why did you? Lord, you might not know about the uniqueness of our ancestral dragon clan. Zhu Yunsan smiled. Our ancestral dragon clan has a record of anyone who dies in the universe. We also have a record of anyone's birth. For example, you were born on Earth. At that time, the Milky Way had yet to enter the human race universe. Actually, our ancestral dragon race knew about it. Oh, Yi Zichen was shocked. He didn't expect the ancestral dragon race to have such a unique ability that allowed them to know the birth and death of the entire universe. Is this the special skill of a human manager? It was no wonder that the human race wanted to get rid of the ancestral dragon race. The existence of such a race made people feel uneasy. To put it simply, as long as the ancestral dragon clan was around, it was impossible to fake one's death. They can find out if you're dead or alive. This is probably the last convenience of being the manager of the human race. Zhu Yongsan laughed. It's just that this convenience is useless. Our ancestral dragon clan no longer has the right to manage our clan. Back then, when the Milky Way overlord ruled with us. Haha, I might have said too much. It's fine. Zhu Yunshur has already said that. Yi Zichen said, is that so? Actually, there's nothing to hide, since everyone in our clan knows about it, and the higher-ups didn't purposely suppress it. It's even recorded in the Elder Cabinet. If you guys are interested and want to know more about our ancestral dragon clan's history, you can go to the Elder Cabinet to look it up, Zhu Yongsan smiled. Oh yeah, Your Majesty Yi. What exactly happened between you and Zhu Yunshur? I remember that he was the one who guided you guys. That brother of yours stole our point crystals. Hua, Jianro snorted. Something like that happened. Zhu Yongsan was stunned. You didn't know? I didn't, Zhu Yongsan smiled wryly. Zhu Yuzhen smiled bitterly. Actually, you can tell just by looking at my strength. I'm at the third stage of the king stage, the weakest of our Yun generation. They're already at the peak of the king level, while I'm still at the third stage of the king level. That's why my status is rather low, and I don't have much contact with my brothers. Didn't you just say that you guys were created? Yes, created. Zhu Yongsan didn't deny it. You should have seen Lord Ye's trial, right? Camp. We're actually born pretty much the same as camps. There are many camps in our ancestral dragon clan, and new clansmen are born every day. All of them have independent thoughts. Yi Zichen frowned. Not all of them. Zhu Yongsan explained as he led the way. Zhu Yunsan explained as he led the way. Many people were born to serve, some to guard. Anyway, our ancestral dragon race is completely different from you humans. We don't give birth to life like you humans do. Everyone comes from a camp. Even the lords like Judgment and Gongzheng were created from the divine hero altar. Oh my god, this place is so weird, Meng Luo exclaimed. Yeah, that's why I said if you guys are interested, you can go take a look at the Elder Cabinet. Then, you'll see the difference between us and humans. Zhu Yongsan smiled. Then you guys can cultivate, right? Yes, we can. Zhu Yongsan nodded. Zhu Yinsan nodded. We're similar to you humans in this regard. We can absorb cosmic energy to cultivate. However, we can't comprehend the laws of the universe. Those who can comprehend the laws are people with high statuses. We were created by the guard camp, so we do some guard work. If we go to your ancestral dragon clan's residential area, can we take a look at those camps? Sure. Anyone can go to the ancestral dragon tribe's campsite, and everyone who comes here will go there to have a look. However, you can't get too close to it, as there are divine guards around the campsite. Even venerables and overlords will be killed instantly if they go there. Zhu Yunsan replied. If Lord Yu wants to see it, you have to be careful. If the divine guards have warned you, do not proceed any further. I have one last question. Yi Zichen asked. Please speak. What are we doing here? Yi Zichen asked in confusion. Can you tell me that? You guys are here to learn. Zhu Yisan smiled. Our ancestral dragon clan school will open soon. You will join the school as new students. This is your purpose for coming here. Chapter 2809. School. They actually came here to go to school. Yi Zichen thought of countless possibilities, but that was the only one he didn't consider. He did think that after they arrived, they would receive various missions and go out to carry out missions in order to obtain mission points or rewards. Yet, Zhu Yunsan actually told him that they were going to the ancestral dragon clan school to study. Go to school? I don't want to. Meng Luo was the first to stand up. I don't want to go to school. I've already learned everything I need to learn. Why do you want me to go to school? With that, she ran over to Yi Zichen and shook his arm. Great deity, I want to go back. This must be Lady Meng Luo, the rabbit race's goddess. Zhu Yunsan giggled. Meng Luo's gaze instantly changed. She looked at him threateningly with her bright eyes. I'm not the goddess. Then I might have remembered wrongly. Zhu Yunsan didn't persist and changed the topic with a smile. You can't leave now. After entering the ancestral dragon clan, you can't leave until you graduate. If you're outside the black hole, you can still leave. However, it's not just you. If you choose to leave the trial, then your entire team will have to leave. The mention of the goddess seemed to have a huge effect on Meng Luo. She didn't say anything else, and the innocence on her face disappeared. She merely lowered her head and stared at Zhu Yunsan with her ruby eyes. Yi Zichen looked down at Meng Luo, then patted her hand and shook his head. Meng Luo pursed her lips and returned to Bai Yu's side. However, she noticed that everyone was looking at her. It was as if they were all confused about the goddess. Mr. Zhu Yunsan. Lord Yi, you could just call me Zhu Yunsan or Little San. Zhu Yunsan smiled warmly. Zhu Yinsan smiled warmly. Here, we don't have the concept of having high status like you humans do. I'm just a small guard from the camp. I can't be compared to you guys. All right, Zhu Yunsan, you should know that my trial is extremely difficult, right? Yi Zichen asked. I know. Zhu Yinsan nodded with a smile. You have a difficulty factor of 512 times. Among all the highnesses, and holy sons and holy maidens that our ancestral dragon tribe has received, the difficulty factor is ranked third in history. If you can graduate successfully, Your name will remain on our ancestral dragon tribe's genius list. I don't care about that. The genius ranking was just an empty title that held no meaning at all. Yi Zichen wasn't someone who pursued fame. He believed in actual strength. That was the only way to make people feel at ease. I'm just curious. Tell me that we're here to study. Then, may I ask, how will my degree of difficulty be reflected in school? Is it through examinations? That's right. Lord Yi is right. It's reflected in the exam results. Zhu Yunsan smiled. What are we here to learn? It's to learn everything you can learn in the human race universe. Basic theoretical knowledge, perception of the universe, and the use of laws. If that's the case, why did we come here? We've already learned everything we need to learn. Lord Yi, if I'm not mistaken, you're a general, right? Yes, that's why you came here, Zhu Yunsan said gently. If you want to graduate from our school, the first requirement is to be at the king level. King level. Even Winnie, Aylin, and company were shocked. That's right. The worst graduates are king level. In other words, the moment you came here, it proved that you are at least a king level expert, Zhu Yunsan replied with a smile. This is also why the adjudicator behind you asked you to come here. Of course, your highnesses and highnesses, being able to become major figures, have enough talent to become king level, but it is not 100%. However, we can make you a king-level expert with a 100% chance without any obstacles. You don't have to worry about the nightmare of breaking through. All you have to do is study hard and complete the homework the school gives you. Yi Zichen and company were shocked. The ancestral dragon tribe actually has such methods to make people a king-level expert with a 100% chance. What's more, becoming a king level is not the final goal. After you graduate, you still have the possibility of becoming a sovereign or above. Zhu Yunsan maintained a smile. We, the ancestral dragon tribe, promised a 50% chance of becoming a sovereign. Compared to you humans, who might not even have 1 in a billion, it is already very high, right? It's actually like that. Hua Jinro moved her lips, while her eyes were filled with shock. Even for her, she enjoyed the best resources of her family. She did not have absolute confidence in becoming a sovereign, because breaking through to the sovereign level required talent, hard work, and luck. With their family, they only had a 10% chance of becoming a sovereign at most. But here, it was actually 50%. They believed that their family knew that, which was why they agreed to come here. That means 5 out of 10 of us will definitely become sovereigns. The flame rat's eyes were filled with shock. No, the guards are not included. Zhu Yunsan smiled, then looked towards Winnie and Aylin. Zhu Yunsan smiled, then looked towards Winnie and Aylin. You two should be Lord Ye's guards. You guards have your own jobs, so you won't be attending classes with Lord Yi and company. However, we, the ancestral dragon tribe, promise that you will definitely become a king-level expert before you leave, and will give you a 20% chance of becoming sovereign. 20%. Winnie opened her eyes wide. It is a bit low, but it's enough. Winnie shook her head. She was not greedy. 20% was already very high for her. Anyway, there are only benefits and no downsides to coming to the ancestral dragon tribe. Over here, as long as you do your studies or guard work perfectly, you can even obtain an ancient creation artifact. The chances were slightly lower back then. But at the very least, you will be able to obtain an ancient god artifact as a reward, Zhu Yunsan replied. Zhu Yunsan answered. You can also use your points to exchange for anything you want here. Anything. Divine artifacts, heavenly divine artifacts, Genesis divine artifacts, rare materials, peerless treasures. Even if you want to exchange for items that have a 100% chance of becoming a venerable, an overlord, or even a supreme being, we can give them to you. Let me put it this way. Back then, the Milky Way Master exchanged for a 100% chance of becoming sovereign. So every time he reincarnated, he would definitely become a sovereign. This is the promise of the ancestral dragon tribe. This was too exaggerated. Everyone opened their mouths in shock. The more they understood, the more they knew how exaggerated the ancestral dragon tribe's promise was. Even a 100% chance of becoming a sovereign. This was the manager of the human race. This was the ancestral dragon tribe. Chapter 28:10. A few hours later, Zhao Xian and company followed behind Zhu Yunsan and arrived in front of a huge glowing spiritual formation. Meng Luo, who had been flying in the air the entire time, complained. She always had a means of transportation, so she had never suffered like this before. Flying in the air for a few hours made her feel like she had flown her entire life away. Fortunately, they were flying. If they had walked, the girl might not have been able to take it. As for why they didn't take the interstellar warship, Zhu Yunsan's answer was that Yi Zichen and company didn't say they wanted to take the warship, so he thought they wanted to experience the scenery of the ancestral dragon clan. Everyone? Scenery. This was a F*King desert. There wasn't even a single blade of grass, and they were talking about scenery? When Meng Luo said that they wanted to go back and take the warship, Zhu Yunsan told them that they had already traveled more than half of the way, so they could only grit their teeth and fly forward. The journey was endless. Now that they thought about it, the desert was really huge. Their flying efficiency was based on Su Yin and Xia Keek's strength. Even so, they were still at the universe level. They could pass through Earth's oceans in an instant. One could only imagine how far they had flown in the past few hours and how vast the desert was. We're finally here. Meng Luo seemed to have seen a ray of hope, and her dim eyes shone brightly. That won't do, Hua Jinro said. Didn't you want to explore the desert and search for treasures? If you wanted to explore and search for treasures, it would take much longer than this. I'm not looking anymore. Meng Luo waved her hand as if she was out of breath. This is too tiring. I'll just wait for someone from my clan to give me one. We'll talk about adventuring in the future. Everyone in the group couldn't help but laugh when they heard her reply. She was the one who said she wanted to explore. Yet, she was the one who gave up. As for why she gave up, it was because she couldn't handle the exhaustion. But to be honest, there are treasures in this desert, Zhu Yunsan suddenly spoke up. This desert is our ancestral dragon clan's scavenging area. There are many weapons, armors, and other equipment stored here. The trial taker who came here last time found a heavenly god artifact here. Heavenly god artifact? Everyone in the team widened their eyes. That's right. Moreover, it's an auxiliary divine artifact. Zhu Yunsan smiled. Meng Luo, let's go back. Heavenly divine tool. Let's go inside and look for it. Hua Jinro raised her eyebrows. Meng Lu hurriedly shook her head like a rattledrum. I'm not going. Even if it's a Genesis artifact, I won't go. I want to enter the city. I need to rest. Meng Luo wrinkled her nose, her eyes determined. You guys can go if you want. I won't be moving anyway. All right, this is what you said. I'll remember it. Hua Jinro raised her hand and said seriously, don't say that we didn't take you on an adventure. You chose to give it up yourself. Don't always talk about adventures in the future. We'll talk about it later. Meng Luo was smart enough to leave a way out for herself. You're pretty smart. Amidst the laughter, everyone had already arrived in front of the huge spirit formation. Lord Yi, Zhu Yunsan descended from the sky and spoke to Yi Zichen. Are you guys going to choose to enter the city now? If you enter now, you will need to use points if you want to come back in the future. Our ancestral dragon clan has a total of 72 scavenger zones. This is a universe-level exploration zone, and it requires 100,000 points to enter. Since I am your guide, I need to make this clear to you before I leave. The choice is in your hands. Yi Zichen understood that. It was a bit like when you leave a dungeon. The dungeon would ask you if you wanted to leave or not. Heavenly divine tool. That was rather tempting to Yi Zichen. However, Meng Luo wanted to rest, and they didn't know much about the ancestral dragon clan scavenger zones. Even though 100,000 points seemed to be very precious. Let's go out. We'll come back when we have a chance, Yi Zichen replied with a smile. Zhu Yunsan also nodded with a smile. Then I need to remind you guys that none of you brought any equipment, right? Yi Zichen looked at the others. The ancestral dragon clan's mail clearly stated that they weren't allowed to bring any equipment into the ancestral dragon clan, so he naturally didn't bring anything. As for the others, Lu Erjia, Winnie, and Aelin all knew that. They wouldn't bring it. I brought it. Meng Luo pursed her lips. Meng Luo pursed her lips and said, "The people of my family can keep the equipment with your ancestral dragon tribe when the time comes. It won't affect our trial." "That's right, so I'll have to trouble you to hand it over to me." Zhu Yunsan smiled. "Give it to you?" "Yes." When Yi Zichen noticed everyone's expressions, they didn't really trust the ancestral dragon clan's integrity after Zhu Yunsan took away their point crystals. Zhu Yunsan also understood this, so he shrugged with a smile. "Everyone, please believe me. Hand over the equipment now, and I will take you to the storage area to get a certificate. If you bring your equipment in, the ancestral dragon clan's inspection team will confiscate it. We won't give it back even if we leave. I feel sorry that Zhu Yunsan took away your point stones, but I definitely won't do that. Don't worry, I'm a very honest person." The others all looked towards Yi Zichen. "Give it to us." Yi Zichen nodded. "Let's not break other people's rules in case they slander us. Also, Nine-Face Sis and the others. There won't be a problem." Bai Yu and company took off their equipment, which shone with a golden light. Divine artifacts. Primordial divine artifacts. Regardless of whether it was Bai Yu, Hua Jinro, or the Flame Rat, all of their equipment was at least of the divine artifact level, causing Zhao Xian's heart to race. Look, comparisons really are odious. How are all their divine artifacts? They're all yours. Hua Jinro took off her last wrist guard and shrugged. "I'm telling you, don't even think about running. If you do, then you'll be in big trouble." "Don't worry, I won't." Zhu Yunsan didn't reveal any greed as he looked at the several tins of divine artifacts in front of him. Then, he looked towards Meng Luo. "Miss Meng Luo, you—" Meng Luo still hadn't taken out her equipment. "Meng Luo, give it to him," Yi Zichen indicated. Meng Luo bit her lips and muttered after a moment of hesitation. "I have a lot of equipment. How much can it be?" "We gave him all our equipment," Hua Jinro comforted. "Just take it out." "Why can't I tell?" "You're so greedy. Are you afraid of losing your equipment? If you lose it, then count it on me. I'll get my dad to go to the secret realm and get some for you." "No, all right, then I'll take it." Meng Luo rubbed her head. "I'm not afraid of losing it. I'm just afraid that he won't be able to take it." Then the sound of a cockroach clattering could be heard. The world turned silent. Chapter 28:11. "Can't take it down." These words were somewhat incomprehensible. When Meng Luo threw the equipment out, everyone outside the spiritual array was dumbfounded. "Can you take it down?" Meng Luo pointed at the pile of equipment on the ground and asked in a low voice, "If you can take it down, I'll continue to throw it out." Everyone, wasn't this all? There were over 100 pieces of equipment on the ground, and the worst one was a divine weapon. She actually said that she was going to throw more. "Meng Luo, did you move all the equipment from your clan here?" Hua Jinro pointed at the hundreds of divine weapons on the ground and said, "There are so many, and you still have more." "Only a few." Meng Luo curled her lips. "Only a few." Was this something a human could say? Many countries dreamed of having a divine weapon, but couldn't get it. Meng Luo threw out over 100 and still said that there were only a few. To be honest, even though Hua Jinro and the others were all ancestors, it was hard for them to understand Meng Luo's life. Zhu Yisan seemed to be scared out of his wits. After hesitating for a while, he nodded and said, "You can take it down. If you still have a lot of equipment, take them out. Otherwise, if they find out, you will suffer a great loss. Then I'll throw them away." Clang, clang, clang. Every time the ground rumbled, everyone's heart trembled. These were all divine weapons. They were thrown on the ground like trash. There were already 6 piles, and each pile had about 100 pieces. In other words, Meng Luo had already thrown out 600 divine weapons. "Are there more?" Zhu Yisan said in a low voice. "Yes." "Wait a moment." Clang. This time, there weren't as many as before. There were only about 50 pieces in a pile, but the level had increased. "Ancient divine weapon." "Are there more?" "Yes." Clang. "Are there more?" "Yes." Clang. And that's all. Looking at the equipment on the ground, if they were to be placed together, they could form a mountain. When everyone heard Meng Luo say no, they all heaved a sigh of relief. It was over. The scene of being bombarded by money ended. Oh, by the way, I have to give you the one I'm wearing. Meng Luo muttered to herself, then said, do we have to remove the soul divine tool as well? I'm going to take it. Zhu Yunsen nodded. All right then. Clang. This time, the equipment was thrown down. A full set of heavenly god artifacts. This is for you too. Meng Luo then took off the hairpin and the small earrings. When she took them off, she showed a rare, solemn expression. She had never been this serious, even when she had thrown so many divine artifacts, ancient artifacts, and heavenly artifacts. You must keep these two safe for me. Although they are only heavenly artifacts, I like them very much. Little you, I think I heard wrongly. Hua Jinro patted by Yu's shoulder and pointed at her ears. I think I heard wrongly. Meng Luo said that those two accessories are heavenly artifacts, right? I think so. Bai Yu nodded. Sister Hua, you didn't hear wrongly. Those two are indeed heavenly artifacts. Meng Luo explained, that hairpin is a defensive heavenly artifact. If someone attacks me, it will automatically form an invincible barrier and teleport me back to my house. It's a one-time use item. The earring is an auxiliary heavenly god artifact. It can be considered as the replacement heavenly god artifact for this hairpin. If the opponent's attack causes a shock to my soul, or if my body is injured, the earring will heal me immediately. However, I like the way they look, that's why I brought them. Hua Jinro, who am I? Where am I? How am I fit to be one of Planet Yin's 4 ancestors with Meng Luo? With that, Meng Luo carefully placed the hairpin and earrings in Zhu Yunsan's hands and pointed at the divine artifacts on the ground. Don't mix up these divine artifacts. The divine artifacts that I wear have to be stored separately. If you mix them up, I won't know how to wear them. These heavenly artifacts were carefully selected by my family for me. They complement each other. And those divine artifacts, you have to store them separately. They're for me to throw out to self-destruct. If I mix them up, I won't know which to use. Remember, you have to store them according to the order I throw them out. Otherwise, I won't be able to remember. Gulp. Winnie and Aylin couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Those divine artifacts are meant to self-destruct. That's too extravagant. They really hoped that Miss Meng Luo would take pity on them and throw a few divine artifacts at them. Not too many. One divine artifact is fine. Self-destruct is too wasteful. Hua Jinro was also shocked. Their family's divine artifact set in China was still incomplete. Meng Luo's family actually gave her so many divine artifacts to throw out to defend against enemies. After playing together for so long, they never expected Meng Luo's family to be so rich. It wasn't that they hadn't been to Meng Luo's residence. Her family on planet Yin wasn't as large as Bai Yu's and Hua Jinro's. Now, she finally understood why her father told her that Meng Luo's family wasn't a simple family. Not simple at all. To be able to give out hundreds of divine artifacts to throw around, wear heavenly artifacts from head to toe, and have hair clips and earrings, how could she be a simple family? Zhu Yunsan's head buzzed as he listened. This was the 4th time he had received a trial team. Among so many trial groups, it was not that there were no people wearing divine artifacts. However, he had never seen anyone wearing a set of heavenly divine artifacts and carrying hundreds of divine artifacts with them. Not to mention anything else, if anyone could kidnap Meng Luo, a first-rate family would come out. This wasn't an exaggeration at all. Compared to experts, equipment was even rarer. If you could provide those experts with the equipment they wanted, they would be willing to serve you. Using divine artifacts to recruit a country lord. All the country lords in the universe would be eager to get it. Zhu Yunsan let out a deep breath and nodded. Don't worry, I will store them for you in batches. When the time comes, you can also take them away in batches. Thank you for your hard work. Make sure to take care of that hair clip and earrings. I don't care about the rest, but those two are my favorites. Meng Luo instructed. Okay, I'll remember. Zhu Yunsan nodded and carefully used universe energy to hold up the surrounding divine artifacts. Miss Meng Luo said so. These equipment couldn't be placed randomly. He could only split his energy to organize them in batches. After a full 10 minutes, Zhu Yunsan walked to the teleportation array after confirming that there were no mistakes. Everyone, you can enter the city now. Chapter 28:12. That day, the ancestral dragon tribe welcomed the relic feast. The townsfolk would never forget what they saw for the rest of their lives. At the teleportation point of the scavenger district, a small mountain of relic hovered above Zhu Yunsan's head. The dazzling array of divine artifacts of various colors were so dazzling that they almost blinded the eyes of the city residents. It was too terrifying. They doubted their own eyes. Hundreds of relic, ancient relic, and heavenly relic appeared in front of them. Even the ancestral dragon tribe, a tribe that could obtain relic in the scavenger district, was frightened to death by this scene. The news spread like wildfire. More and more people gathered here, drooling as they looked at the relic above Zhu Yunsan's head. We seem to be the center of attention. The flame rat at the back muttered softly. He coughed lightly and walked forward with his chest puffed out. Why are you acting like a grandpa? Unfortunately, before he could pretend for long, Hua Jinro slapped the back of his head. Are they looking at you? They're looking at the artifact above our heads. She turned to look at Meng Luo's position, thinking that she had to ask her after she settled down. What did Meng Luo's family do? They had so many relic they didn't use. Could they sell some to her family? Her father spent most of his time in the mystic realm and couldn't even afford the relic of China. Isn't that our equipment too? The flame rat pouted. Do you have any shame? Do you think this is planet Saturn? You're scared by a relic? They're only shocked by our many relic. Are those yours? Aren't they Meng Luo's? Hua Jinro rolled her eyes. This Zhu Yunsan, he's purposely holding up those relic. Is he waiting for others to snatch it? To be honest, the townsfolk did have such thoughts. So many relic. Many people were greedy. Unfortunately, they didn't want to die yet. Although the ancestral dragon tribe had a vast territory, the few lords in the tribe all had their own means. Robbing in the city, especially those who came to participate in the trial, was a capital offense. However, they all had the same thought. But these trial takers were just too rich. During this period of time, there were many outsiders from the ancestral dragon clan. Those who went to receive them would often bring their equipment from various barren areas into the city. However, he had never heard of any group of people with so much equipment. Quite a few people had already gone to investigate Yi Zichen's identity. As for why they'd done so, no one knew. I don't think so. Hearing Hua Jinro's whisper, Bai Yu replied softly. Then tell me, why didn't he fly? Why did he walk into the city? Hua Jinro pouted. It's not that he can't fly. It's just that this place seems to prohibit flying. Bai Yu muttered. Huh. Try it yourself if you don't believe me. Bai Yu glanced at Hua Jinro and said, Also, along the way, did you see anyone flying in the air? Everyone was walking on the ground. Hua Jinro tried it subconsciously and her face darkened. I really can't. And I can't even feel the energy of the universe here. That's right. Bai Yu nodded. This city isn't as simple as we think. When we get to the resting area, we have to get to know this place. What do you think? Bai Yu looked towards Yi Zichen. Right now, the backbone of their group was Yi Zichen. Naturally, he was the one making the decisions. In the past, Hua Jinro would fight with Yi Zichen for the position of decision-maker, but ever since the trial war, Hua Jinro stopped fighting with Yi Zichen. Sure, this place was indeed very strange. The moment they entered the city, Yi Zichen sensed that something was off. This place didn't seem to have any laws. Not being able to fly in the air and not having the energy of the universe was also a small matter. They couldn't even sense the laws of the 5 elements here. All they could do was use their own strength. Yi Zichen had never felt this way before. Even if Bai Yu and company hadn't said anything, he would have decided to find a place to settle down and do some research on the ancestral dragon clan. About half an hour later, under the watchful eyes of the ancestral dragon residents, Yi Zichen's group arrived at the ancestral dragon clan storage area. Even if it was the staff of the storage office, they had been dealing with the trial testers who came here during this period of time. They were also handling the procedures for the storage of equipment. However, for such a large number of people to come here, there was simply none. All the staff in the storage area started to get busy. There was identification. There was storage. And there was processing. Zhu Yunsan stared at the counter and told the staff where to place the equipment. Several hundred pieces of equipment. The Ancestral Dragon Clan storage area took 3 whole hours to finish storing everything. This was due to the special nature of the equipment. All of them were divine artifacts and heavenly divine artifacts. If the Ancestral Dragon Clan made a mistake, it would be a huge loss. Miss Meng Luo, this is your storage card. Zhu Yunsan handed Meng Luo's card to her. Zhu Yunsan handed Meng Luo's cards to her. Remember the order of these cards. The order of the cards is the order in which you equip them. All right, thank for your hard work. Meng Luo nodded with a giggle. Meng Luo nodded with a giggle. Zhu Yunsan nodded in agreement. This was what he should do, then handed everyone else's cards back to them. All right, the equipment storage is over. My guidance for everyone ends here. Everyone can move about freely in the city. If you want to understand the Ancestral Dragon Clan, you can explore on your own. Zhu Yunsan smiled. Zhu Yisan smiled. Hua Jinro frowned. It's over? Yeah, it's over. Zhu Yunsan nodded. Zhu Yunsan nodded. This is the Ancestral Dragon Clan's 2nd level city. Our guiding mission has ended here. Then where are we staying? Hua Jinro asked. Yeah, you haven't arranged a place for us to stay yet. Meng Luo also spoke up. Meng Luo also said, hurry up and take us to where we'll be staying. I'm so tired that I need a rest. Zhu Yunsan furrowed her brows and spoke. The Ancestral Dragon Clan doesn't care about accommodation. All of a sudden, everyone in the group was stunned. Then, they heard Meng Luo open her mouth in shock. You guys don't care about our accommodation? Then where are we staying? You guys will have to solve the accommodation problem yourselves. Zhu Yunsan smiled. There are many hotels in this city. You guys can go there and ask around. As for other questions, you can also ask the people in the city. They are all very warm-hearted people. It's my pleasure to serve you guys. Goodbye. With that, Zhu Yunsan left the storage area without looking back, leaving Yi Zichen and company looking at each other in confusion. What the heck? Ancestral Dragon Clan, what are they doing? Chapter 28:13. The team of 10 stood silently outside the storage area. Even though they didn't know what season it was now in the Ancestral Dragon Clan, the wind that blew over seemed to be able to chill their hearts. Were they being abandoned? Now that they'd arrived at the Ancestral Dragon Clan, they had to find a hotel themselves. That wasn't a big deal. If money could solve any problem, it wasn't a problem. Most importantly, I didn't need money here. The human universe's universal currency was universal, but the Ancestral Dragon Clan didn't accept it. What did they accept? Points. Then they asked how much the cheapest room cost. It cost 20. They only had 12 points in their point stones. The entire team was like orphans abandoned by the world. The cold wind blew silently. How about we kill our way to the Hero's Mountain? Hua Jinro's eyes burned with rage as she looked at the towering palace outside the city. She asked around. Heroes like Judgment and Justice lived on that mountain. They were also the highest leaders of the Ancestral Dragon Clan. I agree. Meng Luo raised her hands, bit her lips, and shouted angrily. Agree my ass. Zhao Xan patted Meng Luo's head. If you hadn't handed over your divine artifact, we could still fight them and blast them to death. Now you don't even have a divine artifact, and we don't have a single piece of equipment. How are you supposed to fight them? You'll be killed before you even reach the foot of the mountain. You want to fight your way up the divine mountain? These kids were probably leeches. There were bound to be a lot of guards at the foot of the mountain. If they charge over like that, wouldn't that be suicide? In truth, Yi Zichen knew that Meng Luo and Hua Jinro were just complaining. Even so, they couldn't. Who knew if they'd really go crazy? Besides, the Divine Mountain held a high position in the Ancestral Dragon Clan. If they were to be overheard by others, they would be beaten up again. That would be like suffering in silence, unable to voice out their bitterness. Then what should we do? Our point stones have been exchanged. Hua Jinro frowned, then clenched her fists. I really want to capture that Zhu Yunshi and tear him to shreds. Even that won't quell my hatred. That's right. Meng Luo agreed, her face scrunched up. I'm so tired now, I want to lie down on the velvet bed and rest. I also want to drink the sweet spring water of Mount Tian Shan in the North Pole. I want to eat. Stop. I'm going to be hungry if you keep talking. Yi Zichen was speechless. He tore apart Zhu Yunshe. He also wanted to, but now is not the time for them to tear him apart. All right, Hua Hua, Meng Luo, don't complain anymore. At this moment, Bai Yu stood up and comforted her. It's not a matter of complaining or not. What's more important is where we're going to stay tonight. Are we going to just find a random place to sleep on the floor? Hua Jinro frowned and said, Look, it's getting dark. We have to have some points to stay. Hey, sleeping on the floor is a good idea. Yi Zichen smiled. Go by yourself. Hua Jinro glared at him. How dare you make us girls sleep on the floor with you? You're the captain. You should think of something quickly. There's a way? Of course there's a way. Yi Zichen shrugged. Look at your poor memories. Did you forget what the nine-faced hegemon sent me? He saved up quite a few points with the ancestral dragon clan. Let's just take them out. Yeah. Thinking about this, Hua Jinro's eyes lit up. Then why aren't you going? You guys keep grumbling here. Just sit on the ground and don't give me a chance to go over. Yi Zichen was speechless. If you want to go, then get up from the ground and go get your points. Let's go. At the mention of points, Meng Luo and Hua Jian perked up and jogged out. Where are you going? Yi Zichen tilted his head. Aren't we going to the Heaven and Earth Trading Company to collect points? So you guys know about the Heaven and Earth Trading Company? Let's go this way. Yi Zichen pointed in the opposite direction and let out a long sigh helplessly. Hurry up. We might run into more robbers when it gets dark. If we lose more points, we'll really have no way out. Heaven and Earth Trading Company. In every city of the ancestral dragon clan, there was a branch of this trading company. There were 2 large lion statues at the entrance of the trading company, which were used to guard the entrance. There were also 2 red lanterns hanging outside, which added to the festive atmosphere of the trading company. The moment they entered, a staff member of the trading company greeted them. Are you guys here for a loan? Loan. Hearing that, Yi Zichen and company were shocked. Please don't blame us. You guys should be universe geniuses that came to our ancestral dragon clan to learn, right? Recently, our trading company has received quite a few trial teams that came to get loans. Seeing that you guys came here, we subconsciously asked about it. Most importantly, if you guys weren't here for a loan, you wouldn't have come here in a short period of time. The staff member explained with a smile. Oh, we can get loans too. Hua Jianro nodded in a rather slow manner. That's true. Our trial last time caused quite a few people to lose everything. They all have negative points, so they definitely don't have enough points to get a place to stay. Isn't that the Milky Way Lord? At that moment, a small team walked into the trading company. Behind their group, there was a guy as tall as a hill. Hey, big guy. Meng Luo waved her hand in surprise. The mountain-like person was stunned for a moment. It's you guys. We really met in the ancestral dragon clan. Meng Luo laughed. The team in front of them was none other than Lion Hong's team. As for the mountain-like person, he was the mountain they met at the supply station. He had also said that he would go to the ancestral dragon clan after receiving an invitation from someone else. However, it was rather surprising. He actually joined Lion Hong's team. You know them? Lion Hong frowned and looked at Mountain. Mountain nodded honestly. Yes, Your Majesty, Lion Hong. We got to know each other at the supply station when you came to pick me up. Ah, don't you know any good people? Lion Hong sneered. Who are you talking about? Meng Luo walked up with her hands on her hips. Let me see who you are. Oh, aren't you the guy who wanted to marry my big sister by you, but failed in the end? Your dad is the heavenly lion overlord, right? It's good that you know. Lion Hong said arrogantly. No. Hey, why are you so proud of yourself? Meng Luo was speechless. Who the hell is your dad? Do you really think your dad is a big shot? What a joke. You are still so proud of yourself. Say that again. Lion Hong's expression changed drastically. The father he respected the most was actually being slandered. How could he not be angry? So what if I say it 10,000 times? Isn't it just the Heavenly Lion clan, a second-rate clan? Meng Luo curled her lips in disdain. I really don't know what is there to be proud of. Big guy, don't be in the same group as the salted fish. Come to our group, we guarantee that you will graduate. Chapter 28:14. From the moment she saw Lion Hong, Meng Luo hated him very much. She didn't know why. Perhaps it had something to do with him chasing after Bai Yu. But even though Yi Zichen and Bai Yu were engaged, she was still very friendly towards Yi Zichen. Or perhaps it was just that they simply didn't meet. Some people decided their attitude towards them the moment they laid eyes on them. She liked Shan a lot. Lian Hong was just so disgusting. Say that again. Lian Hong was as furious as a lion as he glared fiercely at the little lowly Meng Luo. Yi Zichen frowned, then walked up. You want to fight? Lian Hong's eyes reddened when he saw Yi Zichen walk over. He and Yi Zichen were truly enemies. Yi Zichen stole his woman, and now his team was maliciously slandering his father and clan. Planet Yin. He knew that it was the Bai and Hua families. Although Meng Luo was there as well, he didn't take her seriously at all. So what if I want to fight? Lian Hong, be more dignified. Yi Zichen smiled. Yi Zichen smiled. If you have any anger, then come at me. What are you trying to do to the people in our group? I'm trying? She wasn't the one slandering my father and clan? Hey, don't say that. Meng Luo put her hands on her hips unhappily. Meng Luo put her hands on her hips and said unhappily, I'm a very polite person. You're the one who said, I don't know any good people. Explain to me what's so bad about us. Lian Hong smiled without saying anything. You can't say it. Meng Luo smiled. Our team has the Milky Way Lord and the heirs of Planet Yin's 4 clans. I won't mention anyone else, but your Heavenly Lion clan and second-rate Beast clan aren't even worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as us. Do you understand? Who are you calling a second-rate Beast clan? You, the Heavenly Lion clan, Meng Luo said disdainfully. If you don't understand the history of the universe, then go back and do some research. Don't come out and embarrass yourself. In a Lion clan, the true first-rate clans are the Flame Lion Man clan and the Ice Flame Lion Man clan. Your Heavenly Lion clan was originally a 2-winged lion clan, a second-rate, low-rank clan among the Lion Man clan. It was your father, the Heavenly Lion Overlord, who got lucky and broke through to become an overlord. That's why he changed the name of your tribe to Heavenly Lion Tribe. If you don't believe me, go back and ask your father. Also, your father took 136,000 years to become an overlord, and his aptitude is considered mediocre even among the overlords. I heard that the reason he was able to break through was because he became a lackey of the Supremes Association. He knelt in front of them and begged for mercy. That was how he managed to break through to the overlord rank. Unfortunately, after breaking through to overlord, your father became rebellious, ungrateful. He went to work for Star-Lord Sang Yue again. To put it bluntly, he's an ungrateful wretch. Trash. Meng Luo's mouth was like a machine gun as she spoke. Even Yi Zichen and company were shocked, while Hua Jinro asked in shock. Meng Luo, what did you hear about this? My second uncle told me. Meng Luo shook her head. I know a lot more. I'm just worried that this shameless guy in front of me will be too ashamed to show his face. What else do you know? I know. Meng Luo suddenly grinned. Shi Hong's mother used to be his aunt, right? You're seeking death. Shut up. Shi Hong punched out. Yi Zichen focused his gaze and was about to follow suit, but before his fist could land, he was sent flying by a staff member. Heaven and Earth Trading Company. No one is allowed to fight here. The person who'd attacked was none other than the staff member who'd received Yi Zichen. He frowned as he looked at Shi Hong, who'd fallen to the ground. Your Excellency, please don't make a mistake. Hey, poor guy. Someone hit a sore spot. Meng Luo pouted and said regretfully. Meng Luo pursed her lips and said with a regretful expression, Shi Hong, do you know why your father has always refused to pass the position to you? It's because, Miss, please don't say any more. Everyone watched as Meng Luo moved her lips, but no sound came out. Shi Hong sat on the ground with bloodshot eyes. You dare to hit me? No one can break the rules of the Heaven and Earth Trading Company. You don't need to tell me who you are. This is the Heaven and Earth Trading Company. Even if you're the master of the Milky Way, you can't make a move here. The staff member's expression did not change. Okay. Shi Hong stood up with the help of his team members. I can't make a move in the store, but I can do it outside, right? As long as it's not in the store, then we don't care. The staff member replied. Fine, little girl, just you wait. Shi Hong stared at Meng Luo with bloodshot eyes. He actually knew that his mother was indeed his aunt. He'd heard about it from his clansmen. His mother used to be his third uncle's woman, but was forcefully taken by his father. His third uncle fought with his father. The Heavenly Lion clan also split up because of this. This was something he didn't want to talk about the most. He didn't expect a little girl like Meng Luo to know about it, and even say it in front of everyone. But now, in his eyes, Meng Luo was even more hateful. You think I'm afraid of you? Meng Luo's face was filled with disdain. She didn't continue talking about being muted. If you want to make a move on me, then send your father a message and ask him if you want to hit Meng Luo. Do you think he'll let you do it? I'm afraid that even mentioning my name will scare your father to death. A second-rate clan wants to scare this lady? When my family was fighting for the human race, your Heavenly Lion clan might not even have been born yet. Salted fish, don't come out. If you dare, then stay here for the rest of your lives. Shi Hong clenched his fist and walked out of the trading company. The others also followed behind him. Shan hesitated for a moment, then also walked out. Don't go with them. At that moment, Yi Zichen raised his hand and stopped him. Shi Hong hates us, but he definitely won't vent his anger on us. It's very possible that he'll blame everything on you. It's fine. Shan gave a simple and honest smile. If I can vent my anger by getting punched a few times and not cause trouble for you guys, then I'm very willing to get punched by him. It's not a matter of punching a few times. Yi Zichen frowned. I know, Shan replied honestly. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. What's more, he's actually scared of me, so he doesn't dare to do anything to me. But if I follow you guys, then my clansmen will be in danger. Shan, come out. Shi Hong shouted outside the trading company. Hearing that, Shan replied with a smile. I'm very happy to see you guys here. With that, Shan hurried outside and was greeted by Shi Hong's sullen gaze. He didn't say anything and just stood at the very back. As for Shi Hong, he stood a few meters away from the trading company and waited for Yi Zichen and company to leave.